WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, everybody, we welcome you in. No interruptions today. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. We welcome you in here on a Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday? Yes, it's a Wednesday. I never know what day it is anymore. I have no clue why or why that is, but it doesn't matter. The point is, we got a full 3-hour show coming your way here today, and we got a ton to get into. Mel Kiper's latest NFL mock draft. We're going to react to a couple of the changed picks and selections within his latest mock draft. It includes who the Bengals have at number 5, who the Browns are taking at number 28, plus Justin Fields has shot his way up the board, and we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a few moments. Urban Meyer, very critical of the free agency method in the NFL, to quote, "It's not good business," and we'll talk about that coming up around the corner. When business isn't good for you, it's always considered not good business, but we'll talk about Urban Meyer already in the early stages of his NFL coaching career. Josh Gordon, remember him? He wants back in the NFL. We'll talk about that coming up around the corner. How about the suspended 7 times, Kev? He has been suspended 7 times. 5 of those are for substance abuse issues. Mm-hmm. And since 2014, he's only played in 28 games. Josh Gordon, again, wants back in the league. And, there are certain points you have to start having the conversation of, yes, you want to have empathy and you want to feel for someone who's going through drug and alcohol addiction, mental health issues. But just because some of those things exist does not mean you have to excuse it every time and continue to give him opportunity after opportunity. So we'll talk about what's right, what's fair, what's wrong coming up with this situation around the corner as well.
Still not 30. Still not even 30.
If you can get some quality, consistent time out on the field, has a couple good years remaining as a high-level wide receiver. But I think he's one of the best receivers. He's one of the best examples of a what could have been example, I guess, if that's what you want to use with Josh Gordon. And that's what's difficult when you think about his career, especially if you're a Browns fan, because he was able to put up some sick numbers without playing on any good quality teams, and that's the unfortunate thing. Sports Illustrated released their power rankings. And while the Browns, a top 5 team, the Cincinnati Bengals, not as high as what many Bengals fans believe they should be. And I'll even say I don't think they're as bad as what these rankings have them listed as. I will go ahead and start the show off with a positive Bengals note. So take that for what it's worth. Plus, we'll discuss the NHL. Not for long, but the NHL is in the news for one of the biggest overreactions in the history of sports. That's all coming up on today's show. But let's open up with a little NFL conversation. Kev, go ahead and hit the NFL music. We'll talk a little NFL today. Mel Kiper has his latest mock draft out, and of course, it has changed dramatically since the last time that he released one. However, some things don't change. 4 quarterbacks to be taken with the first 4 selections, and now does include Justin Fields. Remember the last draft we talked about, or mock draft we talked about, Mac Jones was all over the place. The first 4 picks in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft are all quarterbacks. Mac Jones has cooled off tremendously. So that's what I found most interesting about this. But let's start off. Nothing has changed here. Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall.
The draft starts at 2.
The draft, yeah. And honestly, I would have said it starts at 3, but I think that the Jets, I feel bad for the Jets. They're in a very tough situation. They are going to be pressured into taking Zach Wilson. They should probably keep Sam Darnold. They're most likely not going to keep Sam Darnold, because if you keep Sam Darnold and struggle, GM will lose his job. There'll be a lot of pressure on the coaches in the early going of this one. I think that the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson. So does Mel Kiper here, quarterback out of BYU. I still think that it's best to continue with Sam Darnold. You're close, if something clicks, if he finally gets that right coaching. We saw with Baker Mayfield, he got that right coaching when the situation was right. Baker's game expanded and he took off. I think that that's what could happen with Sam Darnold, but you're capitalizing and banking and gambling on that being the case with Sam Darnold. If you're the new coaching staff in New York, if you get Zach Wilson, you get a little bit of a pass. You get a little bit of a bubble year. It's a rookie quarterback. You get that 1 year feeling out period. He has Zach Wilson going to the Jets at number 2.
That's why the coaching staff and the GM need to be on the same page, because like you just said before, they have a new head coach. but the GM's been there for a while. So yeah, he just hired a new coach, but this draft pick that he's about to make really depends on everything that's going to happen on the field. And if you move on from Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold somehow ends up in Chicago or San Francisco and becomes a Pro Bowl player and leads his team to the playoffs, and you struggle in that year with a rookie quarterback, all the eyes are going to be on you. It's not going to be on the head coach, because the head coach is definitely going to fix that defense. That's what he's known for. And everybody's going to be looking at you like, man, well, y'all should have just kept him. You already had him on the team. We already had our quarterback of the future on the team, and you bailed on him already. It's a tough spot to be in. And that's why the coaching staff and the GM need to be on the same page. If the GM and the coach both want to just go ahead and cut bait with Sam Darnold, I can understand where they're coming from, because you have a new head coach. You're trying to start anew. So I get it. But I am of the angle of saying, hey, man, give Sam Darnold a full shot to become a good quarterback in this league. If things don't work out this year, you can easily just move on from him. And
but you won't be in a position to be a quarterback a year.
You hopefully won't be in this position. Hopefully, say Sam Darnold doesn't ball out this year, but say with all the improvements you made and the coaching staff and the free agent move that you made, you're hoping that at least that Sam Darnold can get you to 8-8. That's at least. And then you can make a decision from there. But if he goes nuclear, you're going to be drafting Keaton Slovis from USC or Sam Howell from North Carolina.
And the thing with that, too, is, again, you get that 4-year rookie deal. I mean, the Jets have a ton of cap space. They use that. They improved on both sides of the ball. You get that rookie quarterback in there. Offensive line's not as bad as what some other teams are who are selecting at the top. And let's be clear here. Just because you have a rookie quarterback doesn't mean that you're expected not to win right. You could win right away in the NFL. And you have cap space along with, that's why the Jags and the Jets are in two very good situations. I know the Jets, it seems like a dumpster fire. Dumpster fires are franchises right now who don't have cap space to be able to alleviate some of the problems right away. The Jets have been able to plug a lot of holes. They could draft Zach Wilson. He could end up being the real deal. And then all of a sudden, a year from now, we're like, man, the Jets, and Coach Saleh, what is Saleh? Saleh, man, he took him to that next level. Sky's the limit. That happened with the Browns and Baker Mayfield. All of a sudden, things aren't great in Cincinnati, but the fans feel like they are, flying, that they're flying high right now because of Joe Burrow. The quarterback is the key. Even if Sam Darnold improves, I don't think Jets fans are going to feel like they're flying high with an improved Sam Darnold. I think that things would probably be best if they did go the rookie quarterback route, and it doesn't seal the deal for Sam Darnold's NFL career. In fact, a fresh start in a fresh city with a fresh team could be what's best for both sides. Continuing on with Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, this one's interesting. You have the Miami Dolphins sitting there at number 3. Mel Kiper, who has never included trades in his mock drafts until his last mock draft and this one, he has the Carolina Panthers trading up to number 3. The Dolphins trading back, and the Carolina Panthers selecting Justin Fields, quarterback out of what school did he go to? Georgia. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Isn't that what we do with Joe Burrow? But no, Justin Fields from Ohio State going number 3 all of a sudden to the Carolina Panthers. And Justin Fields is another one. They have a good offensive line. You have McCaffrey. There's a wide receiver deep draft, and reading the reports that Carolina's, there's a lot of receivers still available right now too. That if this is the decision that they choose, the direction they choose to go in, the Panthers could all of a sudden have a formidable offense as well. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, the rookie excuse doesn't exist anymore, as we talked about the other day, whether we think it's right or wrong. You have 4 years to win with these guys, and Carolina and the Jets are actually set up pretty well to have instant success. Doesn't mean win a Super Bowl or maybe even make a deep playoff run, but you could win 7, 8, 9 games, and we know that's always enough to flirt with the playoffs in this league.
Absolutely. I mean, we look back at the Steelers a couple years ago. They were 8-8. They missed the playoffs by 1 game. So, yeah, you're always in the playoff hunt if you are around 500 in this league, and that's how the league is set up. They want all the teams to have a chance to make the playoffs late in the year. It's great for television. It's great for everybody involved. But Carolina moving up to pick Fields, I like that. I like that for him because they have a young coach. They got a young offensive coordinator, same coordinator that helped Joe Burrow win the Heisman and become the number 1 pick in the NFL draft is their OC. So, it's more than just hoping guys go high in the draft when they go to the school that you root for. You want them to end up in a situation where they can succeed and ball out. I mean, being drafted high is one thing, but flaming out is a totally different thing. You don't want these dudes flaming out real fast. You don't want them on 5 different teams in 4 years, a la Eli Apple. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be clear about it, man. We want Ohio State Buckeyes to go high in the draft and ball out in the draft. And to ball out, especially from the quarterback position, it's all about getting to the right fit and going to the right system and having them coach up your talent. And I think that if Justin Fields lands with Carolina, he can ball out.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, taking a look at Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. And I love this for Justin Fields as well. They got their coaching situation fixed last year. You know, they did go and they get Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater, by the way, has revealed he is not happy if they do choose to go in the direction of getting a quarterback. But guys like Teddy Bridgewater, you got to understand your role in the league. Like, they're good enough to be starters, but unfortunately, they're never going to be starters for true Super Bowl contenders moving forward, unless you are the backup, the starter goes down, and then you take over and have a chance. I get his frustration because a lot of these guys, it's tough to just tell yourself, hey, I'm not a starter, especially when you got Andy Dalton as an official starter in the NFL again. Teddy Bridgewater, the gap between him and Dalton, I don't think there is one. I think if Andy's starting, he should be good enough to start as well. But Justin Fields coming in has to start. There is no time to do the whole sitting him behind the veteran thing, as we've talked about. But it's going to be interesting. And then Carolina can move on from Teddy Bridgewater, maybe get an additional draft pick, obviously not a first, but who knows how all that's going to pan out.
Yeah, I feel bad for Teddy Bridgewater. Just when he started to come on as an NFL quarterback, he had that horrible leg injury, and then he was out for like 2 years. Then he gets with the Saints. Drew Brees gets hurt. He gets plugged in. They go undefeated during his run. They look better on offense with him. But Drew Brees is the Hall of Fame quarterback. They plug Drew Brees back in. Whatever happens with that. Then Teddy Bridgewater cashes in with Carolina, and they're already moved on from him. So it's just been a rocky situation. And, you know, for lack of a better word, that's the NFL.
Right up next, you have the Atlanta Falcons, who I thought if they were going to select a quarterback, that Justin Fields would be the guy, but I didn't really anticipate Justin Fields being selected any higher. So it is interesting whenever you take a look at that. But with the Falcons sitting there at number 4, the latest mock draft from Mel Kiper, they do still have the Falcons taking a quarterback, Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. I still find this one a little interesting. I thought that the Falcons would have worked harder to move on from Matt Ryan if you're going to go in the direction of signing a quarterback, just because if you're keeping your veteran quarterback, you know, it just doesn't, you create a quarterback controversy. And if you're already paying your starter a lot of money, drafting a rookie quarterback doesn't make any sense at this point unless you've completely moved on. But nonetheless, Trey Lance could be a great contingency plan for moving on from Matt Ryan. And obviously, this is a good pick. I don't think you can go wrong with it. Atlanta has a lot of holes to fill. Quarterback's always the most important one. Sure, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback right now still in the NFL, but this is a move for the long term, and Trey Lance is definitely that.
I think that this is a reach. You know, like I talked about before with Trey Lance and everything like that, I'm just not comfortable picking a quarterback that has limited starts, especially this high in the NFL draft, especially in the first round, because first rounders are supposed to be starters. For matter of fact, the first 2-3 rounds, you're looking for this dude to start and make an impact on your team immediately. If you're going to roll with Matty Ice, then roll with Matty Ice. I don't understand the point of drafting a backup quarterback. And just same way, I never understood the point of when Green Bay drafted a backup quarterback last year. I'm not saying you get more offensive weapons, but there's other players out there that can impact your team, be it on offense or defense, that can make an impact this year on the field, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, you're paying him to learn behind your veteran quarterback, and then you can go out next year, because trust me, there's always another quarterback. That's how they try to play it, like, oh man, we can get another running back, but guess what, there's always another quarterback, because the hype machine starts about a quarterback. You know, there's a guy playing college football this upcoming season that nobody's even heard of. Not me, not you, and we watch a ton of college football. That's going to shoot up the draft charts and going to become the next thing, hottest sliced bread. Just like Zach Wilson did out of nowhere, like never heard of this dude. But hey, he's going to be drafted in the first round. More power to him. It's going to be some dude like that next year. So I would not stretch and draft a dude that only has 15 starts. I would draft somebody that has played a lot of football and that can make an impact on my team this year. Like, I'm trying to win now, not next year.
Up next, you have the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a lot of holes to fill, and they've been very active in the free agent markets. They've added some big time names on the defensive side. Yes, they get Reef, and that's their addition to the offensive line. Still have a lot of work to do on that offensive line. But they don't have the Bengals going offensive line anymore in this latest mock draft, which I find interesting because the thing about the Reef signing, Kev, that's for 1 year. Mm-hmm. That's for 1 year. You have Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow is your quarterback of the future. Why are you not trying to put younger pieces on that line? That's why Tooney was so important. It was a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a long-term investment for a guy that you're going to have a long-term investment in to protect your number one investment being your quarterback. I don't know what Reif does other than improve you for the next 365 days, if even that. So that's my frustration here. The Bengals, Mel Kiper, according to the people he spoke to within the Bengals organization, right now leaning towards Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida, which, again, right away, Bengals fans, well, that's a great addition. That's another weapon for Joe Burrow. Dan Orlovsky said it best earlier today. You can have all the weapons you want. It's hard to throw to him when you're on your back. And if you look at the Super Bowl, Dan Orlovsky brought up another great point. Travis Kelce, best tight end in the NFL. He was a non-factor in the NFL. It's not because he didn't have a quarterback. It's not because he wasn't on a good team. It's because his quarterback was running for his life the entire time and on his back the entire Super Bowl. So you can have all these great weapons all you want. It's like it's like giving a car that doesn't run a nice paint job. Sure, it'll look nice sitting in your driveway doing nothing, but damn it, that's what's going on right now. Kyle Pitts, I love Kyle Pitts. I've been saying all along that I think that, if the Bengals would have done what I thought they were going to do, and totally rebuild the offensive line in free agency, and then add Kyle Pitts, I'm like, man, that offense is as good as the Browns, and they're good to go. Big time playmaking tight end, very good athletic wide receivers. You have a great running back in Joe Mixon, but they didn't fix the offensive line, Kev. So adding Kyle Pitts, it just doesn't make any sense, especially when Penei Sewell is still sitting there. Again, they could still add veteran offensive linemen, but as of right now, my reaction to this with the way the roster is constructed right now, I don't think they're in good position to do this, but who knows? 2 years from now, they could fix that offensive line, and Kyle Pitts could be the next Travis Kelce for all we know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Reif can kick inside and play guard, right? He played a little bit.
They told him he's strictly playing right tackle.
Okay, yeah. So then they got Jonah Williams on the other side.
Yep.
So, with that signing I guess he's out, right?
I mean, that's fine, but you got to ask her. This is why I thought Sewell, getting the Reef thing doesn't make any sense because it's 1 year. Now, if you signed him to a 3-4 year deal, okay, that's your right tackle for the next 4 years to protect Joe Burrow. You have Jonah Williams for the next 2.5, 3 years moving forward. Now you're starting to build Hopkins in the middle. Now you're starting to get guys that you could build around long term and protect Joe Burrow long term. So if you get Reif for 1 year after this year, let's say he's either not good enough or he plays so good that he's going to price himself out of the market that Cincinnati can, not afford, but willing to pay for, because clearly they're not willing to pay for an offensive line. You're right back to where you start a year from now. I think they still need to get Penei Sewell, and they probably should have never signed Reif if that's the case. This is where I'm having a hard time understanding what the heck the plan is. Everyone keeps telling me to chill, and I'm not attacking them, but I am being critical here. And I think Bengals fans, even the homerist of homerism fans out there, can agree that the logic doesn't make sense. Reif is a great addition, but you signed him for 1 year, and he's either not going to work out, which doesn't help you, or he's going to work out and play so well that a year from now when he wants more money, he's going to price himself out of what the Bengals are willing to pay him. So then you lose him, and you didn't get Sewell, the best lineman in this draft, and then it's like you're right back to where you started. And I don't want to hear about all the great offensive linemen in this draft, because we were really high on Billy Price. A lot of people were excited about Michael Jordan. There's a lot of guys that this organization has drafted that any team would have taken. The Bengals have not selected bad in the draft with offensive linemen. They just don't develop them. So That's where my concern is with this. I don't know what the long-term plan is. I don't think they know. And I'm saying that as nicely as I can without offending the Bengals fans. And I think Bengals fans, you need to be having these same conversations as well. It doesn't make sense. The Reef signing is a Band-Aid for a bullet hole. That's basically all you're doing. It's a Band-Aid for a bullet hole, and eventually that Band-Aid is not going to be able to hold in everything it's supposed to.
He's an 8-year veteran in the league, mid-30s. Yeah, I'm with you. I can dig where you're coming from, but as for the projected pick and picking Pitts, that's another weapon. It's a big time weapon. He can flex out and line up in the slot and everything like that. Obviously, tight ends, today's football, they're being used way more than they used to before. They were just using them guys as basically extra blockers. When you have a guy that can block and receive the ball like Pitts can, you run a ton of option routes, and you give your quarterback more options to throw to. So I really don't have a problem with the pick, but when you break it down to the situations of, hey man, their offensive line is still in flux and it's still a situation long term. Short term, Band-Aid with Reef. Yeah, long term, you still look at Penny Swell and wonder who he's going to land to and then end up in the Hall of Fame with a gold jacket on.
All right, so I'm curious. By the way, we're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search in, get in on the conversation in the comment section. The Bengals have the number 5 pick, and let's be clear, I do like Kyle Pitts, and I think when the Bengals get him, this is the conversation of need versus talent, and Kyle Pitts is one of the best players in the draft, as opposed to Penny Sewell being the best at his position in this draft. So Kyle Pitts is not a horrible pick that Mel Kiper has the Bengals selecting at number 5. I think that over time that's going to be a great weapon for the Bengals long term, but again, you got to be able to fix something in the short term. And right now, they haven't fixed the offensive line. Reef is a Band-Aid. He's not, they haven't fixed anything. You signed him for 1 year. That's not really helping you long term. Sewell will do that. You need a long term solution there. Jonah Williams, he made strides last year in his first full year starting, obviously second year in the league. So if you have Jonah Williams for long term, Sewell for long term, now you're very strong up the middle. And right now, that's not the case. To the Facebook reaction we go. Chris Schultz says, do not want the receiver just like most Bengals fans. Look, those weapons, like I said, whether it's Jamar Chase, whether it's Kyle Pitts, the bottom line is this does make the most sense for the Bengals because they foolishly locked up a right tackle that I don't think they should have locked up. It is what it is. Coleman Smith. I'm not a Bengals fan, but that's a good pick. Their skill positions will be a young nucleus with a quarterback. You can always find some decent linemen. Coleman, I could tell you're not a Bengals fan because you said you're not a Bengals fan and you just used the word you can always find some decent linemen. They haven't been able to find decent linemen for 6 years now in the draft and undrafted as well. They've selected a lot of linemen in the draft. They just haven't worked out. In free agency, there's been a lot of great free agents out there, Coleman, but they just aren't willing to pay for them. So Chris Schultz says the Bengals have decent receivers. You have 2. You have technically 1 and a second year in T. Higgins. And I'm a big fan of T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd's great, but you can't bring 2 receivers. You only have 2 receivers. You need a third. You need a tight end. You only have 1 running back in Mixon right now. Right now you need 2 tight ends. Look at the most successful teams in the league right now. 2 tight end sets, multiple running backs, multiple weapons in the backfield, and they don't just have 2 weapons offensively. But the Bengals definitely have enough skill players that if that offensive line just improves slightly, they're a dangerous team. They're going to be capable of winning every game on Sunday. It doesn't mean that they will. And that defense is obviously much improved as well. Chris Schultz says Tate and Boyd. If you believe that those guys are that great, Chris, then more power to you. But they're
I'm a big Auden Tate fan. He can't stay healthy. That shoulder has been bothering him since he was a sophomore at Florida State. I'm a Florida State fan, so I follow the team. He's had a bad shoulder since his sophomore year at Florida State. And every time he's out, it's the shoulder. So, and that's a reason why he fell to the 7th round. Like a guy as talented as him, that shoulder is just always banged up. So when he's on the field, he can play, but he's not on the field.
All right, we're going to step away for a few moments. That was picks 1 through 5 in Mel Kiper's latest. We'll kind of sprint through the rest of them to get up to the Browns pick in a moment. But Bengals fans, the phone line's open, 457-9464. Head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. You can jump in on the conversation as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Bengals selection of, again, the tight end out of Florida. According to Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, I did find it interesting, Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts to the Bengals at number 5, Trey Lance going to the Atlanta Falcons at number 4, Justin Fields going to the Panthers at number 3. Mel Kiper has the Panthers trading up to number 3 with the Dolphins. And then, of course, the Jets taking Zach Wilson at 2 and Trevor Lawrence going to Urban Meyer and the Jaguars at number 1. We'll be back in a moment. More of your reaction when we come back. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash presented by Kirkland and Sommers next.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mainly clear and windy, a high near 73. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 48, and tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with showers, a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Are you ready for the real madness? It's the online Miami Valley Fortnite Tournament, brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and Connect Esports. Area youth ages 9 to 17 are invited to compete Saturday, April 10th, with a max of 99 players. Prizes will include passes for you and a group of friends to the Connect Esports console room, along with a giant Lee's Party pack of food or a brand new PlayStation 5. You must live within the Miami Valley to participate. For complete contest rules and to register, check out the events tab at connectesports.com.
Did you know you can get paid while enjoying the great outdoors? Grunder Landscaping Company, an industry leader, is currently offering full-time year-round positions. Grunder Landscaping provides competitive wages, a robust benefit package, free uniforms, paid certifications and training, career growth, and a $2,000 signing bonus. Apply online at grunderlandscaping.com or visit in person on Fridays between 12 and 4 at 1900 Old Byers Road in Miamisburg. Bring a friend to be eligible for a $1,000 referral bonus.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now the new Queen Sleep Number 360 C4 Smart Bed is only $14.99, plus special financing, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring owner-operator and fleet owners. Dedicated home daily round-trip lanes. That's right, round-trip, get paid for all miles, 100% no-touch freight. Cordell is offering great pay, a discounted fuel program, and free on-site truck parking, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus per truck. Take advantage of the dedicated round-trip miles, sign-on bonus, and home every day or every other day. Go online to CordellTransportation.com to apply today. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. For a limited time, you can get a queen-size premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. You can adjust MyPillow's patented fill so you have the exact support you need regardless of your sleep position. It comes with a 10-year warranty. It's washable and dryable so it stays healthy, and it's 100% made in the USA. I'm also going to give you deep discounts on all my MyPillow products, including my Giza Dream bed sheets, my mattress toppers, bath towels, and so much more. That's $29.98 for a queen-size premium MyPillow, the lowest price ever, and deep discounts on all my MyPillow products.
Go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio listener square and use promo code SKY, SKY, for this amazing special, or call 800-635-1825 and use promo code SKY.
Love Bob Evans for breakfast? Feed the whole crew with a fresh, cracked family meal to go. Serves up to 6 for as low as $3.99 per person.
The madness is officially here. Head to wingam.com and register to submit your Basketball Mayhem tournament bracket and compete against some of the biggest college basketball fans in the Dayton area. $100 in Frickers Bucks will be awarded to the Basketball Mayhem winner. Plus, you could win $1 million by filling out the perfect bracket. It's the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. Submit your tournament picks at wingam.com. Let the madness begin. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hi, son.
Oh boy,
I couldn't help it. I'm
just
sorry.
One of them days.
I'm sorry.
So, I mean,
Sonny boy.
I said the other day that I wasn't going to rip the Bengals too much this week, but there's a difference between ripping them and being critical. And what I'm being critical of, those are real issues to be critical of, right? And even when I try to be a little bit more tame with being critical, of course, it doesn't matter. The point is this guy on Facebook's going off on me, yelling at me about why am I ripping the hometown team? I didn't know I was ripping the Triangles. I didn't, the Dayton Triangles don't exist anymore. And the last I checked, the Dayton doesn't have an NFL team. This is ESPN Dayton, not ESPN Cincinnati. Now, he could easily respond, well, it's not ESPN Cleveland either. But you got to understand that even in ESPN Cincinnati, and then maybe those hosts do, I don't know, but you don't have to just basically blow the teams that are in the city. Like, you don't have to, I don't understand that mindset of, well, our hometown team, so we have to talk only good things about it. No. If there's bad to talk about, you talk about the bad. When the Browns are bad, I talk about the bad. When they're good, I talk about the good. There's really no complaints about the Browns right now. They're doing everything right. I know that it bothers some people, that triggers some people, but that's just too damn bad. So Dayton doesn't have a hometown team. I don't know why he keeps coming at me with that. Of course, he said they were here before your time, son. He called me son, which is cute. It's adorable. I think he's only like 10 years older than me, so that was what makes it even funnier. Actually, if that's even possible, then you were the coolest 10-year-old in the world. Then more power to you. So we'll leave it at that. But let's go to the phones. 457-9464. We got Bob in Riverside. Bob, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. The only thing I will say is, first of all, I think Mel Kiper's talked to as many people in the Bengals personnel office as I have, and that would be zero. No team is going to tell you who they're going to draft. No team is going to tell you that. Now, there's things called smoke screens. They may try to turn around and, get you to look another way. That could happen. And I think the whole Riley Reef signing, which I think was an excellent signing, that tells me all I need to know. Because you think about it this way, Justin and Kevin, how long did they sign him for? 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So if they signed him for 1 year, to me, that tells me they're going to draft a tackle. That's what that tells me. And even if you draft a Sewell, you do the same thing you did with Whitworth. Play him at guard.
You
Why
cut
not
him?
play him at guard for a year?
You cut him when he's good?
No. Cut who?
Whitworth. You said they'll do what they did with Whitworth, where they let him go.
No, you know what I mean. When they brought him in, where did he play? He played guard. He was a left guard, and then they moved him out the next year when Levi Jones left. They put him at tackle. You could do Sewell, you could do Slater, whoever it is that they decide to draft. But to me, the fact that you signed Reef for 1 year tells me they're still going offensive line. They can move Sewell, whoever, inside for a year. I think that looks like what they're going to do. And if you notice, every mock draft, 8 out of 10 mock drafts that you see, who do they have the Bengals taking? Isn't it a tackle?
Well, yeah, but that was before the free agent signings.
Well, no, even still, you get on CBS Sportsline and all of those guys. Everywhere I see, it's still the same thing. They've only signed one lineman. So how is it that ends that?
Now, I do get what you're coming from, Bob, with kicking the rookie inside, but also I didn't even think about this. Also, if you still draft Sewell, Jonah Williams hasn't been able to stay healthy, so you do have a guy that can be a swing player at either tackle position. So that is a thought process.
Exactly. And so I don't see anything wrong with it. It makes sense. And again, even if you're trying to get information from some team, they're lying to you. Nobody's going to tell you who they're looking at. But 8 out of 10 drafts still say Sewell, or even if they trade down and get or somebody like
let
that.
me ask you this, because we do this all the time. Like, so Mel Kiper has said, based on who he's talked to, that they're going to take Kyle Pitts. And now you're upset, and you're saying, well, Mel, he doesn't talk to anybody. So you're saying that the other 8 people who put together these mock drafts, that the people that they've talked to are credible then because they're picking who you want them to pick.
No. I'm saying the same thing with all the other 8. They're not going to tell you who they're going to pick. So, yeah, all of those people have contacts, and they may say, hey, who are you guys leaning toward, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, of course I'm going to tell you. Hey, I might tell you, anybody, Darashaw, I might tell you cornerback, because maybe I don't want you to pick the guy that I'm going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
I mean, that stuff exists, but, look, I mean, Pitt's name has been thrown out a lot for Cincinnati, mainly because a lot of people thought that they were going to address the offensive line in free agency instead of gambling on one of the last 10 rookies actually panning out for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I just think that putting all your trust in another rookie lineman with not adding a lot of veteran presence behind him is a mistake. But there's still time to add those veteran, offensive linemen as we go here. But look, right now you never know with the Cincinnati Bengals. My thing is this: if they take Sewell, I think that's smart. I'm not a fan of the Reef signing at that time for 1 year. I don't know what that accomplishes because you're not going to draft Sewell to not play him. And I know you talked about moving him around, but they've already told Reef he's going to play at right tackle. They're not going to move Jonah Williams, and it doesn't leave a lot of flexibility for inside.
But it makes sense. That happens all the time, Justin, where they move a guy for a year inside.
Who are they moving?
That's the thing. I said you can, even if you drafted Sewell, why couldn't he play left guard? Again, that's been done. That's done all the time. And then the very next year, you move the guy out to his position. Right? That happens all over the NFL. That's not a surprise. And this is not no upset with drafting Pitts, and to say, well, they don't have a plan. Come on, man. This is the NFL. All of them guys have a plan. You may not like it. I may not like it. But believe me, they have a plan. They have a plan. That's just silly. That's silly to say that. But again, by the token, their guards that they do have, Spain and them guys, they played good. The one that played, I don't know why Michael Jordan's still on the team. I know that, but he's terrible.
Yeah, Michael Jordan sucks.
He's terrible. He's terrible. He should be with Dwayne Haskins, and they should be playing Little League ball somewhere. But he's terrible.
Speaking of Little League, the Steelers don't have any much room. They already took Dwayne Haskins. They don't have room for anyone else.
Stop it, man. Stop it. All right, guys. You guys have a good one.
Adios, man. Take care.
All right, man.
Look, I respect the fact that Bengals fans want to be confident, but like Kev, do you realize in 457-9464, a year ago, Joe Burrow was sacked the third most times in the NFL.
Hang on.
Joe Burrow was sacked the third most times in the NFL. You know how crazy that is that you were sacked the third most amount of times in the NFL and you didn't even play the last 2 months of the season? Like that. This is that line. The line that got Joe Burrow hit the third most times in the NFL. Not third amongst rookies, not third amongst guys under the age of 24. No, third most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year, and he didn't play the last 2 months of the season. And I respect fans who like to remain optimistic, but don't constantly. Well, they draft Sean, everything's fine. They got Reef, everything's fine. Like when you have that bad of a line as they did last year, you're not 1 or 2 pieces away of everything going away, of all the issues going away. And I mean, look, when it comes to this situation here, they've already told Reef that they're not moving him. He's playing right tackle. I mean, he said that himself in the press conference when he came in. Jonah Williams, you're not moving him anywhere.
He might be moving himself to the injury report, like always.
So you're going to draft Sewell based on the tape of him being as dominant as he is at his position, and then you're going to take him out of the position he's dominant at because you wanted to sign a player for 1 year. I just don't. For 1 year, I don't get it. This is the part where I'm having a hard time understanding. I have no problem with the Bengals not selecting Sewell if they would have spent big money on somebody else to take that position like I had anticipated, but nonetheless. So who we got, Kevin?
We got DoorDash Ray back in the building.
DoorDash Ray, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, first of all, Little League is baseball. I'm just saying. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
I was trying to force the Steelers joke in there, and I had to find my angle, and I did.
It was awesome. Hey, yeah, dude. Look, between the Bengals and my team, the Raiders, I don't know what we're doing with the offensive line. We're getting rid of all-pro centers, all-pro guards. Trent Brown, he was iffy. He was hurt half the year anyway. And but you know what? You're right, dude. I don't know what is the deal with the Bengals, man. This is number one when it comes to the draft. A lot of teams, just like your caller just said, they're going to steer you the wrong way. They're not going to let you know who they pick because for some dumb reason they think, oh well, you're going to get the guy that we want. We want to make it a top secret kind of a thing. Look, you need to go out and get the best lineman you can, especially for the Bengals. I mean, and then I don't see anybody in this year's draft that you can plug in and start right away anyway. That's that good. I mean, there's a couple good guys, but do you think anybody can actually step in right away and be a starting left tackle?
Look, this is a very good draft when it comes to offensive linemen, and I do believe that you can take these rookies and slide them into not just be starters, but to be effective starters. But I do think that you need to have talent around you to be able to make that transition easy. There's a reason that you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line last year. They put Wirfs right in. Wirfs transition fine. Wirfs wasn't the best offensive lineman on that line, and the pressure wasn't on him to be. When you have a good offensive line and you add a rookie in, it's easy to add a rookie offensive line onto an experienced line. But when you have an offensive line built with all 2-3 year players or non-talented players or non-experienced players, then it just becomes a cluster. And I don't know who these guys are. Who's learning from who? Who's getting better from who? Like that's why you need a mix of veterans along with the rookie and couple year players. And that's just something they don't have. And you're not going to get it in 1 year by signing a decent offensive lineman that they did for 1 year.
I totally agree. We have a left tackle, Colton Miller. He came in a few years ago. Then we have Brandon Parker. They've drafted both those guys, highly touted, guys thought highly coming out of college. And let me tell you, he came in there, and you're right. They mixed him with a good seasoned group of veterans in there with him.
Yep.
He still did crappy. Today's defensive ends are so quick, so strong. I mean, you got to be really, really good with your feet to hold these guys back. But you're exactly right, and you have to have a mix of seasoned veterans in between there, in the middle, to kind of keep you grounded, and as well, a good offensive line coach. I mean, I don't know who they have in Cincinnati, but you have to have that whole mix in order to be successful. And, dude, I'm telling you what, with the Bengals and Joe Burrow, that injury, I hope to God he's going to be ready to go. But that big of an investment, yeah, they need to put some people in place, just like my team. It's just going to be a crapshoot this year. Who knows? But anyway, hey, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a good day.
Peace. Take care, man. I appreciate the call. Frank Pollock, obviously the offensive line coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's going to have his work cut out for him. We're live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show. We obviously will take your calls at 457-9464. Also interacting with you in the chat section right underneath the live video feed. You can watch the show weekdays from 3 to 6. To the Facebook feed we go. Billy Wright on Facebook, Kev, says stupidity at its finest. Not talking about me for once. Talking about the Mel Kiper selection of Kyle Pitts going to the Cincinnati Bengals with the number 5 pick. Billy Wright says stupidity at its best. The Bengals have not done enough in free agency along with the O-line to do this. They don't have that luxury of best player available. They need best O-lineman available. And Billy, I agree with you, but that's why I rebutted with, okay, yes, you want to select Sewell, but if you're going to select Sewell, you got to start him. And right now, why would you sign Sewell, who's the best at his position, if you're just going to draft him and not play him in the position that you drafted him to? And then, like I said, I'm just not a fan of signing Reif to the 1 year deal. I don't know how that helps you long term. This isn't like where we're 1 or 2 pieces away from being a Super Bowl contender, so we're just going to gamble and sign guys to 1 year deals like what the Buccaneers are doing, Kev. You're a last place team and going to be battling for last again. So signing veterans to 1 year deals just to battle it out for last, I don't understand that. Willie Hayden on Facebook, Kev, says the caller made a good point, Justin. I gave you credit when you were right. Now I must call you out when you sound like you're hating. I don't know how I'm hating on this. Look, remember when the Browns had one of the worst offensive lines in football? I was ripping the Browns offensive line the same way I'm doing the Bengals. Browns fans were calling me a hater then too, and I was a Browns fan. So that's what I don't understand is you're not allowed. Fans got to stop being so soft, man. Just because someone's criticizing your team, I don't know why you got to get your pitchforks out and you get your claws out and get all defensive. I mean, it sounds silly when you're trying to tell me that your last place team is good. It just doesn't make any sense. Tommy Pennington, a smart Bengals fan, says, I'm a diehard Bengals fan for 40 years, and I agree. I like Tommy Pennington. So there you go. So again, taking your reaction on Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. Call me an idiot there, or you can call in and tell me yourself. We'll be back in a moment. More of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough, but you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. It's time to upgrade to NetSuite. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need, all in one place instantly. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 24,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/radar. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
Okay. Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quickest we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Update your home's exterior with new siding and get 11% off everything at Menards. Timbercrest Premium Double 4-inch Vinyl Siding is engineered to be durable, 15% thicker, and has the look of natural cedar siding. It has a limited lifetime warranty and is available in 9 colors. $679 per 12.5-foot piece after 11% off. Good through March 27th. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
PBAuctions.com is conducting a huge online auction of building supplies at 26200 Richmond Road in Bedford Heights. This is an excess inventory auction from one of Ohio's largest wholesalers. Kitchen cabinets, vanities, tubs, showers, sinks, faucets, toilets, lighting, heating and cooling, and large volume cabinet lots for resellers and contractors. Don't miss this one-time event. This auction ends this Sunday at 6 p.m. and bidding is open now. Go to PBAuctions.com for online bidding and information.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need for that big brake job. Right now, you can save 15% when you buy any Duralast brake pads and any 2 Duralast rotors. It's a great way to save while you take on the full job. Oh, and one tip. Go for a nice, easy drive after you finish the job. It'll help break in your new brakes. For more tips, visit AutoZone.com/DIY. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune into Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
You could continuously cough for hours on end, or you could take Delsum Cough. Delsum Cough gives you 12 cough relief hours. Visit Delsum, DELSYM.com. Use as directed.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER, and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. So Mel Kiper released his latest mock draft yesterday, but we weren't able to kind of dive into it due to the short show with Reds baseball, but we got a full 3 hours, and, there's still plenty of time. I mean, it only took us an hour to get through picks 1 through 5 because everyone lost their mind. But Mel Kiper has the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Kyle Pitts at number 5, and that's triggered some folks. And I could see both sides. Like, I think overall Kyle Pitts is going to be one of the best tight ends in football. Will he be the next Travis Kelce? Who knows? We don't know how good any of these guys are going to be. We don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to make it or not. I mean, every year we talk as if this player for sure is going to be great, and half the time when you look at the first 3 quarterbacks taken in every draft, one of them usually pans out and the other 2 become busts, or they just become journeyman quarterbacks. And that's not just that position, that's every position. But offensive linemen, sure, it's a deep draft for offensive linemen, but the Bengals have drafted good offensive linemen in the past, and how has that worked out? I don't think it's a question of the Bengals selections. I think it's a question of what are they doing with them after they draft them, and I think that's why I'm not putting any faith into the Bengals' plan being, well, we'll just address the offensive line in free agency. So there's that. Back to the Facebook feed. Kev David Shaw says blood pressure, Kinner. He's just reminding me. I've kept it in check so far. We're good, Shaw. Thanks for the reminder. So Anthony Bauer. He says many players, again, we're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, and you can interact with us that way, or give us a call at 457-9464. So Anthony Bauer says on Facebook. Many players are only going on the 1-year deals. This is me talking about Reef. I wasn't a fan of that signing I was a fan of the signing at first because I'm like, that's a good offensive lineman. That's what you need. You need to stack up that line with guys like that. But then I found out you only signed him for 1 year, and that to me doesn't make sense. You have a rookie. You drafted Joe Burrow last year. That's not just a quarterback. It's not like the Patriots with Cam Newton where you're just trying to find good pieces to put around him for the short term. You're not building for the long term around Cam Newton. You're just trying to win with him right now. That's why the Buccaneers are dominating right now, because they know they only have a small amount of time with Tom Brady, but they're going to maximize it. There's multiple ways to maximize something. You can maximize it in the short term or the long term. You only maximize in the short term when you have a good enough team to win right now, and the Bengals don't. So signing guys to 1-year deals makes zero sense to me, especially when you're trying to beef up that offensive line for not just 1 or 2 years, but for hopefully the length of the time that you have Joe Burrow, which hopefully is a long, long time. So to the Facebook feed, Anthony Bauer says many players are only doing 1-year deals because of salary cap being down. It'll skyrocket next season. So if they're up for a deal again next year, they'll be more likely to get a larger long-term deal. Anthony, you're not wrong. I actually agree with you 100% on that, but that's not what this situation is. When you talk about cap space, the Bengals had the cap space to sign guys to longer deals, to bigger deals, and they chose to pass on Tooney. They were in touch with Tooney, they lowballed him. Zeitler, they were in touch with Zeitler, they lowballed him. And Zeitler gets paid $7 million a year, and if you can't pay a guy $7 million a year to protect your quarterback, I think you clearly don't value your quarterback. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. But Anthony, you're right. You're not going to see as many 1-year deals next offseason as what you are this year. But usually guys that sign 1-year deals, they're gambling on themselves. As far as Reef is concerned, sure, the Bengals can re-sign him, but as I said earlier, if the Bengals weren't willing to invest in a year where they had a lot of cap space, if they weren't willing to invest into Tooney long-term or invest into Zeitler, for a mid-long-term contract, if Reif does improve to the point to where he earns, a lot more money in a long-term deal, the Bengals have already proven they're not willing to pay for that long-term. So it just doesn't make any sense to me for why they would do that.
So if they Bengals actually end up drafting Penny Sewell, what did you think of that? Because they will need depth. We always just really only look at the starters, but look what happened with Kansas City. Their backups had to play in the Super Bowl, and their backups got trashed in the Super Bowl. So you do need depth at those positions, especially at the tackle position, especially when you talk about Jonah Williams, who's always hurt. So if you do go ahead and draft Penny Sewell, and do kick him inside at guard, and he can still play tackle on a need-to basis if Jonah Williams gets hurt.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is because they drafted when they signed.
I shouldn't even say if Jonah Williams gets hurt.
So Jonah Williams, he's going to stay healthy at left tackle. You have obviously, you have when you look at that, you have Jonah Williams at left tackle. You're going to have Reif at right tackle. You have Hopkins there in the middle. Are there with them? I'm sorry, and the other are there as well. I mean, Xavier Su'a-Filo. I don't know. Look, Hopkins going to be there in the middle, not on him. They have to address this, but you can't play Sewell out of position. Why would you draft him, who's the best at his? You watch all the film on him at his position. You're going to play him out of position. That would be my concern. There is. And you're being forced to do that because you chose to sign a guy to a 1-year deal, which doesn't help the better.
Riley could be the backup. That's why they got Camp. So you battle out on Camp, and we disarm it man, the rookie's better than you. You're going to be on the pine.
Then that's a bad signing. But I'm with you.
But it's not a big money. They didn't spend big money. They ain't give them $20 million.
Like 7.5 or whatever it was. The same money Zeitler was asking for. I just wanted it long term. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it. More Facebook reaction here on this. Willie Hayden said, "I'm not being defensive. I could care less about the Bengals. Try." It's not, I could care less. I couldn't care less. I say it all the time, but I could. When I hear people say I could care less, I always respond with, well, try. I could care less. Okay, try it. Care less. Try. I couldn't care less. Willie, don't get mad.
Grammar police.
No, I'm not the grammar police. I swear, Willie, I wasn't making fun of you, but when I always see I could care less, I know what everyone's saying. Everyone always says that phrase wrong, though. It drives me nuts. I say things wrong all the time. Make fun of me all you want. I'm not even making fun of Willie. It just caught my attention. Willie goes, my point was that the caller made good points and you ran with your opinion like it's a fact. Willie, it's the Justin Kinder Show. Don't you know that everything I say is a fact? I've never been wrong in the history of my 31-year life. Come on now. He says, how often is Mel Kiper right? The caller mentioned other sources that still had the Bengals going O-lineman. And I didn't say that the caller was wrong. He said that Mel Kiper was wrong. I didn't even say Mel Kiper was right. All I'm doing is listing the Mel Kiper list. That's all. Oh, I hate lists. Lists suck. Well, they generate reaction. No, they don't. We just did a whole hour on the whole first round of the mock draft. We've only made it through 1 through 5. They clearly work. Ron Howard, Tampa Bay will be the team to beat. Cowherd has them going no worse than 13-3. Well, then they must be going 13-3. And I like Colin, so you're right. Maybe not. Shaw says, problem is, Anthony, the Bengals don't spend money on the O-line. I agree. Paul Wilcox on Facebook says, every top pick depends on what the team that the player goes to and how he fits into the team scheme. Many players go to teams that don't change to fit their best skill sets, like this situation where you just grab them and just go play another position. We drafted you based on the film of you dominating at your current position, but hey, you know what? Because we were dumb and signed the guy to a 1-year deal instead of just going with you in the first place. Like, that's from it. And then Willie, grammar police, laughed my ass off. He liked that. So there you go. Oh, I know we got Charlie waiting on hold. Charlie, you're gonna have to wait with us for a couple more minutes. If you want a chance to win $1,000, by the way, head to wingam.com while I have all of your attention. Head to wingam.com right now. WINGAM.com right now. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway opportunity. Enter the stop. And I'm too immature to just keep going as if Anyways, enter the word fry, F-R-Y. Enter the word fry at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway at wingam.com. Enter the winning word fry, F-R-Y, at wingam.com. I'm done with hour one. Hour one that was not good. But hour two, I see good things on heading into hour two. Like Charlie. We're going to get to talk with Charlie. He went off on me on the page the other day. He's a big meanie. He's a big jerk.
Well, I have the dump button ready.
Just another sensitive Bengals fan. We'll be back in a moment. Hour two next. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So many razors. How do you choose? Dollar Shave Club has a premium 6-blade cartridge designed for daily shavers and a 4-blade cartridge that's for less frequent shavers. And they put both blades in one new starter box. So now you can test drive both. If only it was that easy to choose your bracket every March. At least when it comes to razors, they got you. For more info, visit dollarshaveclub.com/gojo. That's dollarshaveclub.com/gojo. And check out DSC at your nearest store. You got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p, unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details. These days, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, you could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just call 800-998-0633 now to see if you qualify. You must have an automobile made from 1999 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call 800-998-0633 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. That's right, total protection for your car and no more repair bills. Plus, call 800-998-0633 right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Call 800-998-0633 right now to see if your car qualifies. That's 800-998-0633. Never pay for car repairs again. Just call 800-998-0633. 800-998-0633.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up a non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. Fever is a leading symptom of COVID, and using an accurate thermometer has never been more critical. In published studies, no-touch thermometers miss more fevers than they detect. While the new COVID vaccines are becoming more widely available, it is important to make sure you are protected. Monitor for fever with an accurate thermometer backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at Exergen.com, where accuracy matters.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring owner-operator and fleet owners. Dedicated home daily round-trip lanes. That's right, round-trip, get paid for all miles, 100% no-touch freight. Cordell is offering great pay, a discounted fuel program, and free on-site truck parking, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus per truck. Take advantage of the dedicated round-trip miles, sign-on bonus, and home every day or every other day. Go online to CordellTransportation.com to apply today. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Right now at Wendy's, with the Biggie Bag, you get a bacon double stack, 4-piece crispy or spicy nuggets, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That's a bag with real value. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
Hour 2 of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM.
I know where you got this beat from.
Yeah, what is it?
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter had one of the most kick-ass movie, whatever you want to call it, soundtrack. There you go.
This is played in Coach Carter.
Coach Carter is one of the most underrated sports movies.
Love Coach Carter.
It never gets brought up when people start talking about their favorite sports movies. But I used to watch that on loop. That was an amazing. I love that.
Turn on BET on the weekend. You'll see it on loop.
So there you go. But yeah, I loved Coach Carter, and I forgot that this was a part of that. But no, I just sitting drinking over the weekend, heard this song pop out. I'm like, I like that. It's catchy. So we're going to use that. And that's what we're doing. We're using it. Let's see. We got Mike Nympher on Facebook says, Kinner doing these reads like Stugatz today. We got a lot of reads. Thank you for reminding me, by the way, because it is hour 2. So we got to make sure we get these reads in. And it's very important because we love our sponsors, including Kirkland and Sommers, the sponsor of the show, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. So there's that. Also, make sure that you are continuing to head to wingam.com while you're entering the winning word to give yourself a chance to win $1,000 for the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway. Make sure you check the status of your bracket. Where are you at right now? Kev, I'm not joking. Guys, go check it out. I'm in dead last. I'm not joking. I checked it yesterday. I'm scrolling. I'm like, I had to pass it. I'm Justin Kinner, damn it. I know everything. I am dead last, Kev. It's one thing to pretend you know what you're talking about, and I feel like I do a very good job weekdays from 3 to 6 pretending that I know what I'm talking about. Some are like, you don't even pretend well. But I am dead last. Dead freaking last. I'm at the bottom. But head to wingam.com and check the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, rankings.
How many of your Sweet 16 are still left?
And real quick, shout out to Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. Appreciate y'all, Frickers, providing the $100 in Frickers Fun Bucks to the tournament winner, which we have all now figured out it will not be me. Even if it was me, I couldn't use it, but it will definitely not be me. I don't remember. I don't even know who. I haven't checked it, Kev. Okay. I haven't checked it in a while. In fact, no, hold up.
Well, I'll give you mine.
I have the paper version.
I'll give you mine while you count them out. I have 5 of the Sweet 16, 3 of the Elite 8, and 1 of the Final 4 still left. So, I'm not doing so hot either.
Ohio lost to who? Who? Virginia, right?
Yeah. No. OU, they lost to
Creighton.
Yeah.
So Creighton's in. So I had Virginia in my Sweet 16. They're out. I had Kansas. I had the Zags in my Sweet 16. They're in still. Virginia out. Kansas out. Iowa out. Michigan still in. Georgetown gone. Michigan State. freaking Ona. All right. So I only on the left side, Kev, I only have 2 teams still in, and that's the Zags and Michigan. Woofa. On the Sweet 16 on the other side, North Carolina out, Purdue out, Texas Tech out, Ohio State, Jesus, Illinois, my goodness, Oklahoma State, oh good Lord, Syracuse, hey, there we go, I knew it. See, I know a lot in Cleveland State. I was trying too hard.
So you got 3.
I got 3. That, my friends, is why I'm in dead freaking last in our Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. Again, Basketball Mayhem presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. Check out where your bracket stands as of right now at wingam.com. To the Facebook feed we go again. Doug Toby talking about the Bengals says, if I'm going to grade the Bengals midterm, I'm going to give them a C+. You have to wait and see what they do do the rest of the year. The free agent market will determine who they take in the draft. Doug, I think that's a fair grade. I do. I like the names that they brought in, but the names that they brought in are offset by the names that they let walk. Like, I don't feel like the Bengals improved that much. I definitely like the addition of Mike Hilton. I think Mike Hilton is the only upgrade at any of the positions that they added, Kev. Like, the Awuzie cornerback that they got from the Cowboys that just replaces William Jackson. Rife replaces Bobby Hart. Again, that's an automatic upgrade. I mean, I could have been in the offensive tackle for the Bengals, and I would have been an upgrade over Bobby Hart. But they added Ricardo Allen today, safety from the Falcons. That's more done for depth than anything. I mean, depth always helps, so slightly improved there. But Awuzie replaces William Jackson, and then Hendrickson just replaces Carl Lawson. I don't think that the Bengals are better at all. Slightly better because of Mike Hilton. Now, I will give them this. Last year, they did add Reeder and Waynes. Injuries kept them from being a part of the true core all of last year. So you add last year's free agent additions with this year's. Now, they're better, but I don't think that they're out of the basement better by any means. But yes, Doug Toby, I'm with you. I think that can't give them a final grade yet, but all my opinions are based on where they sit right now. This is my favorite thing, because the Bengals can go add 2 veteran offensive linemen, and then they'll rip me and say, "So you don't know what you're talking about." My opinion is based on where we stand right now. And right now, this is a Bengals organization that has spent $250 million the last 2 off seasons combined, and yet they still don't have an offensive lineman to show for it. That's where I'm at with my criticism of this team right now. That could change in the coming days and weeks if they actually make it a priority. But for right now, they're not any better than they were a year ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah, free agency, I know a lot of people look at free agency as a way to rebuild your team and, plug holes and everything like that. But I was reading this report about the Jets and the Jaguars being, over the last 5 years, the teams that spent the most money in free agency, and you look and see where those teams are not only this year but last year as well. So free agency is definitely, I think it's a tool to get your team better, but I don't think you can be the end all be all and say, "Hey man, we're gonna go from worst to first like you can in baseball by just quote unquote buying the championship." So I think you have to do your job and draft young players. And in this article, they didn't classify re-signing your own free agents. Yep. So I think it's more important to draft well and develop the players that you handpick, and then supplement things that you need with free agents.
So if you would have added Trey Hendrickson with Carl Lawson, that is a huge upgrade right there. If you would have added Mike Hilton with William Jackson and then added Awuzie as well, then I'm all for it. Then that's a huge upgrade. They add, and that's another one. They added Eli Apple. Again, like I said yesterday, they may not be good, but at least they're going to own the hearts of all the Buckeye fans in the state. So they have that going for them. But that's why I was, with all of that being said, had they made these additions, had they kept Carl Lawson and added Trey Hendrickson, now you got some cooking there. But when you're just losing one good player and replacing him with another, look at how bad they were last year with Lawson, when you look at William Jackson, when you look at those guys, so you lose them, you just replace those same positions. I don't get how you're better. Sports Illustrated put out their power rankings. The Cleveland Browns come in at number 4 in Sports Illustrated's latest NFL power rankings, and the Cincinnati Bengals come in at number 31. There's 32 teams in the NFL, just to be clear. So they even after all of their free agent signings, here's the write-up on the Bengals. Riley Rife, Awuzie and Trey Hendrickson are the big adds this offseason, but they don't go nearly far enough to address the Bengals' glaring needs. Also, with Awuzie and Hendrickson, did they acquire players who were possibly not as good as the ones that they just let go? I think, this seems to be a reoccurring problem in Cincinnati. Now, just to be, I'm not hating here. I'm just reading, which I learned how to do a long time ago, and I'm reading it word for word. He's saying a lot of the things that a lot of people are saying, that they didn't get better. They just replaced guys they lost with very good guys, but you're still right back where you started. The Cleveland Browns come in at number 4 on this power rankings list, Kev, and the write-up for the Cleveland Browns coming in at number 4. John Johnson, one of the best safeties in all of football, and Band-Aids, one of the Browns' biggest weaknesses in 2020. Factor in the reintroduction of the 2020 second-round pick, Grant Delpit, and you have a potentially devastating secondary to pair with an offense that is humming along at peak efficiency. Whether or not OBJ returns to form or returns to the Browns at all, it feels like this version of the Browns is uniquely positioned to take the division and fully seize its potential. There is simply too much talent on both sides of the ball, especially at cornerstones like defensive back, pass pass rusher and pass blocker. Bengals fans, relax. I'm going to say this before we get to Charlie. I disagree with the Bengals being number 31 on this list. I think the Bengals are bad. I do not think that they are as bad as what they're being depicted in this. Like, I think the Bengals, when you have a quarterback and you have some key offensive weapons and key defensive weapons, you're not that far off from being legit contenders in your division. And I think that the Bengals are close to being contenders in their division. They just need to fine-tune that offensive line, get a linebacker, and maybe one more legit pass rusher, and I think that they're going to be right there. But they're not the second worst team in the NFL behind the Houston Texans. I mean, come on. Like, this list is crap from that perspective right there. As much as I'm critical of the Bengals, they are not the second worst team in the NFL, even with, some of the question mark decisions I think that they've made this offseason.
Yeah, that's a little too low.
That's way too low. Okay, like even that's coming from me. I'm even saying that, like, the Jaguars,
the
really
worst team in the league. I mean, shoot, I go directly to Philadelphia being down there. Obviously, the Texans are down there. I mean, I understand.
The Jags haven't dug themselves out yet.
Like they got the number 1 pick and everything like that, but still, like, they're still not going to be great this upcoming season. So I will put Jacksonville down there too. So that's a little rough on the Bengals if you ask me.
So they're the 4th worst team in the NFL. You happy now? You happy now, Bengals fans? Speaking of Bengals fans, let's go to the phones. 457-9464. Charlie, how are you, sir?
Is this the I Hate the Bengals show?
Oh, yeah. Let me restart this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the I Hate the Cincinnati Bengals show, weekdays from 3 to 6. We got our first caller of the hour. We got Charlie. Charlie, welcome in, man. How are you? Welcome to the I Hate the Bengals show.
Yeah, I got the Justin Kinner grade for the Bengals free agency so far. It's an F.
You're giving them an F? That's very realistic of you. Good job.
That's Justin Kinner's free agency grade for the Bengals.
If you were just paying attention, I agreed with the Doug Toby just gave him a C+. I said that's about what I would give him. I'd give him a C- just to stay consistent with my brand here, of hating the Bengals, right? But no, I think they've added good players. I just don't think that they've upgraded enough to really take their team anywhere different than where they were a year ago, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I think we've upgraded in a lot of places.
You've added good players. You haven't upgraded.
We upgraded defensive end. We upgraded at slot corner.
Lawson couldn't do no wrong last year, and you guys lose him and add someone else, and now everyone's dogging him as if like he was a nobody. You guys cracked me up.
Who was good?
Lawson was good. Lawson was really good last year.
And Carl Lawson's so good.
Oh, now Carl Lawson's bad. You guys are cracking me up. You guys are so cute, man. Like the way you guys shift from side to side. You guys are adorable, man. Oh, man. You guys are like puppies. You guys are just adorable.
Never in my life have I ever heard anybody criticize any sacks that Reggie White ever got or any other great defensive lineman ever until we get Trey Hendrickson. Now I have to hear about how many sacks of his were created because of the defensive back, because of Cam Jordan, and he didn't really do anything. It's just he just happened to be
I'm not going there. I'm not discrediting who they added, man. I'm just saying that, like, he's not head and shoulders better than Carl Lawson for it to be a true upgrade.
He had more sacks last year, so he's
if we're going to criticize, though, it's a one-hit wonder. I mean, there's more years of bad than good, so I'm just throwing that out there, I mean, I hit a jump shot in a game one time. It didn't make me like a 3-point threat or anything like that. I'm just saying.
What Carl Lawson done that's so great that everybody's like, wow, I can't believe they got rid of him.
Dude, let's rewind back to the night that the Bengals, of course, lost him to the Jets. And when the Jets signed him, Bengals Twitter just lost their damn mind. They all went nuts. They were furious. And now that they have Hendrickson, it's like, oh, well, forget Lawson. Lawson's a bum. I mean, Lawson doesn't even deserve to be in the NFL.
When we got rid of Carl Lawson.
What?
I never was sad when we got rid of Carl Lawson.
Well then, okay.
Paid.
The one fan that wasn't.
He's never paid. The Jets never paid him. And the Giants.
But the Jets are going to be better than the Bengals a lot sooner than the Bengals. I promise you that much, because they're willing to spend money and willing to go get players. And the Bengals are over here counting pennies. They're counting pennies. They're getting coupons out. I hate. The other day I went to Sonic, and this guy was taking forever because he had all these damn coupons. And with all these coupons, he's like, "Well, I have a coupon for buy one get one here." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, guys with coupons drive me nuts. You're just holding up the line." It was ticking me. That's Mike Brown. I have a buy one get one free here. It says it expired yesterday, but will you guys still accept it? That's Mike Brown.
Mike Brown is a genius. He's an Ivy League grad, and he owns a team worth like $3 billion. So,
and he's about to flip it with what he's doing with this team. He's basically putting it in position to get rid of it. You're going to be the new Browns. It's going to be hilarious if you guys leave Cincinnati here in a few years.
You know what?
What?
You said we don't have any veteran presence on the offensive line for a rookie. That's not true.
Oh, the one guy you just signed for 1 year. Yeah, I forgot.
Riley Reese, Quentin Spain, and Trey Hopkins are all veterans.
Well, I mean, talented guys, like talented veterans who can actually show the young guys the ropes, not guys that you just listed from one of the worst offensive lines in history last year.
Not the worst offensive.
Oh, okay, the second worst. I mean, come on, we're splitting hairs here.
One of the most injured offensive lines of all time.
It's always something. It's always something. You guys are funny. Hey,
look, and Riley Reese said he would play any position. You said that he's cemented at right tackle.
No,
drafted tackle.
Go read the reports. The day he was James Rapine, Jay Morrison, I read from 3 different reporters that when he said he signed it, that the Cincinnati Bengals told him he was strictly going to be a right tackle and right tackle only.
Okay, well,
and that's that genius owner Mike Brown that you were talking about. The Ivy League grad, man.
Andrew Whitworth. You remember Andrew Whitworth is
guys. You guys got to start. It's embarrassing when you bring up Andrew Whitworth because that guy was like a very good offensive lineman for years after you let him go because your owner, the genius, the Ivy League guy, said he was too old to play in the NFL.
It's the worst decision we ever made since I've been watching the Bengals.
Okay, we agree on that.
Awesome.
Hey, man, it's always good going back and forth with you for a bit. Good hearing from you.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield has led the NFL in interceptions since he got drafted. Have a good day.
Okay. Baker Mayfield just won a playoff game last year. What are the Bengals doing? Oh, yeah, falling in love over a guy named Reef. How many reefers have they passed around to act like this offensive line's good at all? Hilarious. Vincent Waller says, Bengals fans are very sensitive. You know, Vincent, we go back a little bit. I don't know who you are, but, you know, we used to say a lot of things I disagreed with. I said a lot of things you disagreed with, but I agree with him right here. Bengals fans are very sensitive. You are spot on saying that the players they signed are marginally better than the players they lost. Their offensive line is still going to be bad if they think Riley Reif is an answer. They are sadly mistaken. He has been average as hell since the day he came in the league with the Lions. I didn't say it. Vincent Waller did. Philip Reed says, I thought he said Mike Brown likes Guinness. I think if he does like the Guinness, he drinks too much of the Guinness. So
bottoms up.
Mike Nympher said he learned something from that last caller, Charlie. Charlie's good people, folks, just so you know. Never met Charlie, but I always enjoy when he calls into the show. Mike Nympher says, today I learned something from that last caller. Mike Brown is a genius. That's what happens. You tune into the show, you learn a thing or two. All right. Can we get back to this mock draft?
Sure. I'll allow it.
Folks, we'll be back in a moment. 457-9464. Phone line's open. We'll keep it open. Plus, your opinion's always welcome in the chat section. Head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. Give the show a like. You can watch the show and hang out with us weekdays from 3 to 6. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mainly clear and windy, a high near 73. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 48, and tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with showers, a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
The 2021 Honda ATV lineup is here to prove it's possible to work smarter and harder. With the power to get the job done, the technology to make it easier, and tried and tested quality to keep you moving forward, the only thing left to add is you. Then you'll understand how life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Procter & Gamble, the company behind some of your favorite brands like Tide and Charmin and Pampers, is now hiring entry-level technicians at the Dayton Distribution Center. P&G is offering a competitive pay rate of $16.44 per hour for 8 and 12-hour rotating shifts, plus an additional per-hour rotating shift incentive. P&G offers a comprehensive benefit package on day one, including medical, dental, and 401k. For more information, visit pgcareers.com. Search for Dayton and apply today. Procter & Gamble is an equal opportunity employer.
The Parenzino brothers hold monthly online building material and home improvement auctions featuring quality home improvement products. Go to pbauctions.com for all the details and bid on name brand home improvement products, including flooring, kitchen, doors, decking, barn siding, trim, plumbing, lighting, tools, and so much more. All to be sold online. Visit pbauctions.com for preview times and bidding details on the next monthly auction near you. And we'll see you online at the Parenzino Brothers Auction.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I hope to see you soon.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com. Spending more time at home? There has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't watch your favorite basketball team in person? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. It puts you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville. Or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
Howard Music, one of the largest music stores in the nation, is having March Musical Madness. Yes, Howard's is slashing prices to the rock bottom. Nothing held back in their superstore in Centerville. Nowhere else will you find a larger selection of band instruments, drums, guitars, digital pianos, and musical accessories all under one roof. Sign your student up for lessons in our state-of-the-art teaching rooms. Nowhere else will the prices be lower than Howard's March Musical Madness. Look for the huge Howard sign at 528 Miamisburg Centerville Road. Howard's March Musical Madness is going on now.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
What's in store this holiday at your local Staples?
Great deals on the hottest brands.
Staples has this year's must-have gifts for working or learning from home.
Like Apple AirPods, great for video conferences or online classes.
And now at Staples, Apple AirPods Pro are just $194. You save $55.
Shop in-store or pick up curbside.
Get the most wonderful deals on gifts this holiday at Staples.
Ends 11/14. In-store only. Limit 2 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
Switch to T-Mobile for Business and get up to 90 days of service free via virtual rebate on your business plan. You get a great deal, the largest 5G network, and first-class benefits like Microsoft 365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business.
Limited time offer. Stop in store for details. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
With Allstate, you can really save. Find out just how much you can save today. Visit allstate.com or call an agent to get a quote.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to win $1,000. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway. Each hour starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, we'll release a winning word that you can submit at wingam.com. It's easy, it's free, and you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So what's stopping you? Take a chance and swing for the fences and participate at wingam.com. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
We'll have another winning word opportunity coming up for you here in just about 15 minutes for the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day cash contest. They're giving away $1,000 a day. All you have to do is be listening for the winning keyword that we obviously put out once an hour starting in the morning at 6 a.m. So make sure you keep an ear out for those winning words throughout the day. So I'll have that for you coming up here in about 20 minutes. 4:50, I'll have that for you. So make sure you keep it locked in here to give yourself a shot to win $1,000 this hour. So I talked about that Sports Illustrated power rankings and had the Browns at number 4 and the Cincinnati Bengals at number 31. For one, I like where they have the Browns, but the Bengals, look, I know I like to pile on the Bengals, but they're not the second worst team in the NFL. That's a horrible spot to have them in. They have been very active in free agency the last 2 off seasons. They've spent over $250 million in free agency. They got Joe Burrow and T. Higgins last year in the draft. They're going to continue to add more talent to this year's draft, whether it's Kyle Pitts, whether it's Penei Sewell, whether it's Slater from Northwestern, whoever. I mean, this team is going to continue to add more good players, and there's still a lot of very good players remaining in free agency. You see a lot of good pass rushers, a lot of good receivers still available. Speaking of that, there was rumor that T.Y. Hilton was going to go to the Ravens. I read that earlier today, that both sides were in heavy conversations, and then 2 hours later, he returns to the Colts. So keep that in mind. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough yet to go with this narrative, but there's a lot of receivers that have talked to the Ravens and have chosen other teams. The Ravens, Juju Smith-Schuster chose to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers for $8 million, and he was going to get paid a lot more with the Ravens. He was going to get paid $9.5 million plus incentives to return or to go play for the Ravens. A lot of big name receivers have turned down the Baltimore Ravens, and I do find that interesting because it's not as if the Ravens are bad. The Ravens have one of the best rosters in football, at least totality-wise, but offensively, outside of Lamar Jackson, they have a good offensive line. They're one of the best rushing teams in football, but the running attack for the Ravens is Lamar Jackson. And I think that there is something to be said about the receivers not trusting going to play with Lamar Jackson. I think that that's something, especially when you look with the Colts and you look at who their quarterback is. T.Y. Hilton felt comfortable going. I mean, again, Ravens, Colts, two very good teams, 2 teams that can easily win their divisions and contend for a Super Bowl. T.Y. Hilton chose to go back to the Colts. Juju Smith-Schuster chose to go back to a team that's third best team in the AFC North, maybe the last place team. I'm just saying, there's only 2 examples, but again, there are a lot of receivers out there who aren't even sniffing Baltimore, and Baltimore's willing to pay big money to a wide receiver. They're not able to find one. I do find that alarming for Ravens fans.
I can only speak from the Juju perspective because that's obviously the T.Y. Hilton stuff just came out, so I haven't been able to do too much reading about it. But from the Juju Smith-Schuster position, the Ravens offer was out there, the Steelers offer was out there. Obviously, he returned there, and the Kansas City offer was out there. The reading I was doing about the KC offer, I mean, it sounds good on, when you read a headline like, oh man, you can go play for Kansas City Chiefs. You can be in that offense. You can play Patrick Mahomes. You could be that second receiver. But the incentives that the Kansas City Chiefs were saying that was reported to put it out there to say like, oh man, he will be making $10 million or just like crazy. One of the incentives was 15 touchdown receptions, 115 receptions. Only person on Kansas City Chiefs that's going to get the ball 115 times in the receiving game is Travis Kelce. Not going to hit those incentives. So I really don't look at incentives as like things that you're actually going to hit, especially coming into a new system. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, for Juju, when he re-signed, it was for 1 year, $8 million. The day he signed, he got $7 million. The rest of the money is going to be dispersed throughout the rest of the regular season. From the Baltimore Ravens, I want to say it was a 2-year deal for like basically $17 million. It's kind of basically what callers have been talking about. People want to try to get another bite at the apple. They want to get another bite at the apple of making big money. So I'm with Juju on returning to the Steelers. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm going to return to a team that I know my role with and I know what's going on here. And I guarantee to sign and make $7 million at the stroke of a pen versus my signing bonus being $1.5 million with the Baltimore Ravens throughout the rest of the regular season. I'll get my money and then I'll be locked into a contract for 2 years. And then that big money boom next year with the new TV deal and obviously with the vaccines rolling out and they're expecting the cap go back up. That's why I believe he signed a 1-year deal. I thought he was going to sign a 1-year deal regardless. I just didn't know it was going to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought that Juju was going to end up with the New York Football Jets, but I'm glad he's back with Pittsburgh. But as far as the Lamar thing, I do question what maybe Harbaugh is really steadfast on this ground and pound approach because New England is steadfast with this ground and pound approach. And they
also have a quarterback that can't throw.
Well, what I will say is I really like the perspective that those guys are doing because, you know, this whole copycat league thing, most defenses out here are playing nickel coverage because it's a passing league. Well, you're going to force you're going to force that third corner to tackle. You're going to force him to basically play a linebacker position. So you're doing something that other teams aren't doing. You're making teams uncomfortable. So I kind of like the approach that they have. New England and Baltimore was saying we're going to be more physical than everybody else on the offensive line, and we're going to be a running team. So I think that they're going to be able to draft. They got to draft a receiver for sure. I thought they should have went after Galladay. The Ravens, they didn't.
Well, they weren't going to pay $18.5 million for a wide receiver. That was the other deal too. T.Y. Hilton was going to be in that range of 10 to 12, which is more reasonable for them. We're talking 18.5.
I know people like talk about T.Y. Hilton, but T.Y. Hilton's been in the league a long time. T.Y. Hilton's got to be in the league at least 9 years by now. Like, he's not like a young dude, like a young dude that's made a splash and still on his way up like a Galladay is. He's on the way down too. So I question paying that type of money for T.Y. Hilton if I'm the Baltimore Ravens.
To the Juju Smith-Schuster thing too, and a lot of people, because debating with people on Twitter about did Juju turn down the Ravens because of Lamar. He did, yes and no. Right now, you're right. He is trying to position himself to make all the money he can next season. If he was with the Baltimore Ravens, he would be the number one wide receiver with Baltimore. But doesn't trust that the passing game for Baltimore is going to be enough to up his stats and to up his production that year to garner that big money next offseason. So then you look at the Chiefs. Well, why wouldn't you go play with Patrick Mahomes? Because you're the number one option for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You would have been the number one option for the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens and Lamar. Lamar's not a scrub with throwing the ball, but he is not a top 10 quarterback with throwing the ball either from that regard. So you could put a lot of stock in, like, I think Juju, if the Ravens were going to give him the contract that he's looking for next year, he would probably be comfortable in Baltimore. But when you got to gamble on yourself for one season to maximize your production, to maximize your stats, to get that big money, it's too much of a gamble to play with Lamar Jackson next season. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, though. That's the perfect quarterback to play with to up your stats. You're the number one in Pittsburgh. You'd be the number one in Baltimore. You'd be the number 3 or 4 in Kansas City, though. You're not going to take over. Travis Kelce is going to get the majority of the looks from Patrick Mahomes. Right. You look at Hill and those guys. So Juju is going to get average. He's going to get good quality numbers for a number 3 option for the Kansas City Chiefs. His best bet is to go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who as of right now have not addressed their run game. They've lost a lot of their key defensive pieces. So their only offense is, again, having Big Ben drop back and throw the ball for 500 plus times and lead the league in passing attempts. And when you are the number one receiver on an offense with a quarterback that's throwing the ball more times than any quarterback in the NFL, that's your best opportunity to maximize your production to, get that chance to make that big money. Now, he didn't maximize it last year. But again, when you look at those three options, the best option was rookie quarterback with the Jets or rebuilding Sam Darnold. You look at the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, one of the most elite quarterbacks in the league. Biggest question mark is his passing ability. Would he get the best out of you? We don't know. So I think that the Steelers made the most sense. Yes, from the $7 million up front, I do think it was about money, but I don't think it was necessarily about money this coming up season. I think it's about money next season, and Big Ben is the best. It gives him the best opportunity to do that.
Oh, for sure. And I know it's going to sound very homerish, but I do believe that he wanted to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do believe that he felt obviously comfortable with the situation he was in, and him basically, for lack of a better word, he's getting a raise. Like, it's look, man, we ain't got no money to give you. And to be perfectly honest, we don't extend wide receivers outside of Antonio Brown. So here's a raise for 1 year. We see what happens from here on out. Obviously, like numbers wise, like, people want these eye-popping stats, but he is the go-to guy. He is the go-to guy on third down. When they need a play, that's who they go to. So
every team has a go-to guy, but how does he rank up against the top go-to guys in the league?
Oh, I mean, he's right there. Like, I don't
think he is. No one went after him.
Nobody went after anybody besides Galladay. Galladay is the only wide receiver that broke the bank.
I think everyone will agree. I'll take Galladay over Juju.
I'll take Juju. Juju's on the field.
Homer!
Juju's on the field. Juju plays.
Mm-hmm.
Galladay doesn't play.
Galladay, that's what he does. He TikToks and gets his ass beat by Von Bell. That's what Juju does. And he could be TikToking and being the number one option on the last place team in the AFC North. You hear that, Bengals fans?
You willing to take that bet?
Right now, they're battling it out for last.
You want to take that bet?
What are we betting?
What do you want to bet?
Let's wait till after the draft. But as of right now, they're battling. I mean,
I'll take that bet right now before the draft.
They are 1,000,000% battling out for last. With
I'll take that bet. They finish above the Browns. I'll take that bet.
They are not better than the Browns. The Browns are the best team in the AFC North.
I'll take the bet. You name the bet.
We'll come up with it, but there's a bet. We're handshaking, elbowing on a bet right now. The Steelers are battling it out for last place in the AFC.
I'll take that bet.
Why are you so confident?
I'll take that bet.
You're dumber than the Bengals fans. My goodness. At least, I mean,
I'll take that bet.
But why? But why? But why? That's a lot of but. Come on now.
I'm getting the timestamp. You know, I like to get my
timestamp and all you want. This isn't even a hot take.
I'll take that bet.
This is a team that got throttled by the Browns in the playoffs, and they're actually worse today roster-wise than they were when they got throttled by the Browns, who are already better. The Ravens are better. The Bengals are better. The only team that's taken a step back in the AFC North is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They restructured the deal so they could lose Bud Dupree and lose Hilton.
But
so
Dupree was never coming back.
Could bring back because they had no money.
Yeah, that's what happens in the NFL. That's what happens with a salary cap.
Pay your quarterback. You're acknowledging it.
No, that's what happens when you pay the NFL. They restructured this deal. The pandemic happened. Dudes wasn't coming back. I'm confident that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be battling it out for
what? The number one draft pick next year. They're horrible.
Okay, I would. So what is the bet? Let's make sure we get the bet.
The bet is that the Steelers will not finish any higher than third, because I'm not confident that the Bengals are any better than the Steelers. But they're the two worst.
Oh, you making this easy on me?
Why is it easy on me?
You're making this easy on me. Okay.
The Browns and the Ravens are better. The Browns are winning the AFC North. Like last year, I mean, they're off. Now you give a defense to that offense, no question about it. They're the most well-rounded team in the AFC North.
Okay, so that's the bet, that the Browns are finishing first or the Steelers are finishing dead last.
Oh,
which one is it? Or
the Steelers are finishing dead last.
Okay,
in the AFC North.
Okay, I'll take that bet.
You hear that, Bengals fans? That's the nicest thing I've said about you, is that the Steelers are going to finish last in the AFC North. Vince Waller says, man, it's going to be funny when the Browns regress to a 7-9 win team next year with all the hype they're getting. It's not hype. There was hype about the Browns 2 years ago. They didn't live up to it. There was no hype for them last year. This isn't even hype. This is just acknowledging that this is a good team. Like 2 years ago when you had Baker heading into his second year, I get why everyone was like, oh, he hasn't proven it. Baker proved what he could do last year. This team proved what they could do last year. It's the same offense with a full year off season and camp now under Stefanski, Valley, and guess what? They actually have a defense now. So I know, Vincent, you want to take shots at the Browns. That's fine. He goes, Kinner will be in rare form on the show. I don't really believe this will happen unless, see, I just got to finish Vincent's message before I start getting the blood pressure on.
See?
I like you, Vincent. See? He goes, I don't really believe this will happen unless Baker turns it over a ton, which is always, every time he drops back, even though last year, I mean, he totally fixed that part of his game, but every time he drops back, I'm not going to lie, I still hold my breath every damn time. Everything. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We have yet to finish the Mel Kiper mock draft, and that's fine. We'll get to that when we get to it. But I want to step away for a few moments. On the other side, Urban Meyer, very critical of NFL free agency. Now, keep in mind, Urban Meyer is an individual that when he was a head coach at Florida and especially at Ohio State, it wasn't recruiting, it was selecting. Urban Meyer didn't have to really recruit. I mean, let's be clear, that's what his strength is, okay? So I'm not saying he didn't do anything, but because of all the hard work that he did, Ohio State, it wasn't a matter of recruiting players. It was just a matter of, all right, go take a look at the top 5 players at every position and offer them, and there you go, off we go. And now everyone wants to go to Ohio State, so Urban Meyer never had to really fight to get guys, right? He just had to select guys. Well, in the NFL, it's not that easy, and I think he thought it was going to be easy. You had $70 million in cap space. You know you have Trevor Lawrence coming into the league, and we know how attractive teams become when they have a very good quarterback. The problem is Trevor Lawrence has yet to step foot on an NFL field, and Trevor Lawrence has not had time to have that Joe Burrow effect. Joe Burrow has had an impact on NFL free agency for the Bengals, although players I do not think trust the organization. I think they trust the opportunity to play with Joe Burrow because we've seen good things happen when good players get put around these young rookie quarterbacks in their rookie deals. But Urban Meyer, very critical. Urban Meyer says this of NFL free agency: it's not good business. We'll discuss that when we come back. Urban Meyer, is this just, sour grapes because he didn't hit a home run in free agency like he had anticipated? Or does he make a good point? We'll discuss on the other side.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Spring forward at Banana Republic Factory with 50 to 70% off everything. Shop season favorites from colorful dresses to easy tops from $19.99. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. Shop 50 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory. Get 60% off select jeans and dresses. Shop the sale through March 28th at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com.
This is Dr. Mashika Roberts, Columbus Health Commissioner. The pandemic is more than a physical health issue. As parents, it's important to remember that our children are also coping with drastic life changes. 1 in 4 teens misuse a prescription drug at least once in their lifetime. We must talk to our kids about healthy coping strategies and the dangers of prescription drug misuse. Visit don'tliveinDenial.org to learn how to dispose of your leftover pills and talk to your kids about opiates.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting, serving this area's tax and accounting needs for over 80 years. If you have concerns about your tax return, we invite you to discover how we can make your tax filing experience easier. If you had a difficult experience in the past, our professional staff can provide the accurate return you want with maximum use of all legitimate deductions. Laird's Tax and Accounting is a trusted name and stands behind your return if the IRS calls. Contact us at 937-325-6571. Information at Laird'sTax.com.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
You ever lie awake at night, can't sleep, not wanting to see what time it is because that's just going to keep you up? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended release melatonin helps you fall asleep naturally and then slowly releases so you stay asleep longer through the night. It's non-habit forming with no next day grogginess. ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night so you can fall asleep and stay asleep. Available at retailers near you.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris, Ohio has immediate openings for second and third shift production associates. KTH promotes from within, offers an attractive benefits package including medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at just over $17 per hour with annual increases. During the month of March, KTH will be hosting walk-in interviews every day from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Please bring a resume and photo ID to apply or see other career opportunities at kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
Psst. Hey, you. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. The madness is officially here. It's the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. $100 in Frickers bucks to the overall winner. Plus, you could win $1 million by filling out the perfect bracket. Submit your Basketball Mayhem tournament bracket at wingam.com. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash, hanging out with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Check your Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge results at wingam.com. I am in dead last. So Kevin and I, we went through my bracket just because I stopped paying attention. I was ticked off, and I just said, forget it. But the only two teams I have on the West and East Coast sides, on the East and West, on the West and East regions, I have Gonzaga and Michigan. That's it. Which actually isn't terrible because right now that's who I had Gonzaga getting upset by Iowa. So, there's that. I do have Michigan getting to the national championship game, so that's good. I guess I have that. I don't know what that means. It still means I'm in last place.
You're rooting for that team up north. Huh?
The South and Mid. I don't root for the team up north. I root for Juwan Howard. It's a weird predicament I'm in. I really like Juwan Howard. The South and Midwest regions. North Carolina, Ohio State. Ouch, man! I don't have anyone in the. Man, my Elite Eight. I had North Carolina, Ohio State in the Elite Eight. How'd that work out? And I had Illinois and Syracuse in the Elite Eight.
Go Cuse.
And I'm screwed, man. Like I'm in last, like dead last. Like not just tied, like Kev. So like there's like 3 people tied for first, like 6 for second, a bunch for third and fourth and fifth. Like every place has a bunch of people tied for that place. Dead last is me. I am at the very bottom. You're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to the very bottom. You'll see Justin Kinner's name by himself, dead last. And I like bringing that knowledge to the show every single day. It's time for the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway winning word opportunity. Head to wingam.com, click on the Swing for the Fences icon, and you will be able to enter the winning word to give yourself a chance to win $1,000. The winning word for the 4 p.m. hour is thread, THREAD. Enter the winning word thread at wingam.com. So there's that. By the way, the Wright State Raiders women's basketball team is the only active team in Ohio in both men and women's for the NCAA tournament. They upset Arkansas in the first round, and they are getting beat pretty bad right now by number 5 Missouri State. 60-36 is the score right now. They trail 24 with 4.5 to go in the fourth quarter. So there's that. There's actually fans in the stands. It's weird watching basketball games with fans in the stands. So I thought that was interesting. But nonetheless, they trail big, but nonetheless, upsets don't happen in women's basketball. So the fact that they were the talk of the entire tournament for why, that's pretty good exposure for Wright State. So
absolutely, man. Very proud of them. Very good season. No, not good season. Great season. They got their first NCAA win this year. Shouts out to the Wright State's women's basketball team.
All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash presented by Kirkland and Sommers. So Urban Meyer, a little critical of the NFL free agency system. He says it's not good business, Kev. Urban Meyer was talking when asked about his thoughts on the NFL free agency process. He says it's awful. I don't agree with it, but no one asked my opinion. Now, what he's talking about is that teams are allowed to contact free agents of players, or that they are allowed to contact agents of players who will become free agents only during the 2-day period before the league year officially begins. So this is where Urban Meyer, because so many people dislike him, they're going to jump on this and say, oh, just shut up, Urban, always crying, always complaining. He makes a good point. You know, we talk about how important free agency is. It totally changes the direction of these franchises, and every decision that's made during free agency, jobs are on the line. Not the athletes themselves, but the coaches, the general managers, those in the front office. Like, those are big time decisions, and you're asking those decisions to be made basically on how much more do they know about these players than we do? I mean, technically they can call these agents, we can't, but they know about these players what we basically know about these players. They look at the stats just like we do, and that's kind of all they have to go on. Sure, they can call guys within their NFL circles and ask about these guys, but you're in competition with the guys that you're calling to request information on those guys. I agree with Urban Meyer here when he says that it is not good business. It is so important. I mean, you're talking about these teams who are investing millions of dollars in free agency. The Bengals just spent over $100 million in free agency. How many of those players did they actually meet?
Right.
Like, we thought it was rare that the Bengals had free agents in the city. They were taking that Jeff Ruby's or whatever that steakhouse they were that's rare that you have free agents come visit like a college campus. Like, they're giving a tour of the facility and everything. A lot of times you're forking over these 60, 70, 80, 90 million dollar contracts, Kev, without even meeting them or having them step foot in your building, in your office. That's what's crazy to me. I agree with him that that's bad business, but I don't know how else you change it.
Yeah, this isn't college recruiting. This isn't even drafting a player. You know, NFL draft, you in the normal days, you would fly them in and they would talk to you, interview you, work you out and all that type of stuff, or you would go down to their pro day and, you know, be able to have closed door meetings, or, you know, at the combine, you actually kind of like get a rapport with someone. But NFL free agency is very wham bam, hit your man, thank you, I'm in and out. And these guys really don't go on too many visits. And normally the first place they visit, they try to blow you away with the offer so you don't go talk to somebody else. And for the players and for the organizations, you know, all these things, this vetting of them, Like, they've been in the league for a while now. Like, you should have already done the vetting. Like, your season's been over. You know, the season ended in February. A lot of these teams' seasons ended in December. So you already should have your free agency board laid out about who you want. Now, Urban's probably talking about he wants to know the guys and get to know them as people and everything like that. It's not going to be like that. You know, the average lifespan of a NFL player is like,
we all know how great he is at evaluating people.
I was trying to be nice. But like, those guys aren't in it for that. Like, this isn't college where you're trying to build a lifelong bond with somebody. Like, that's a college and a high school thing. In the pros, this is a job. They're trying to go to work and win a Super Bowl and get paid. And that's it. They're not in it for that. And furthermore, neither is the organization. He's coming in there with the college mindset. And I think that ultimately is going to work for the short term, but in the long term is going to affect Urban Meyer being in the NFL.
Yeah, Urban Meyer goes on about this process, again, talking about how the 2 days before the new season begins, when free agents start signing. I mean, you saw the breaking news, the first 2 days of free agency, even though the new league year didn't kick in until days later and you couldn't officially announce them days later. You know, teams were already signing guys before it could even become official. I am like stuttering left and right today. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but my goodness, it's like really bad today. But Urban Meyer goes on to say that, you know, to answer your question, it's awful that you could do that. I don't believe that it should be that way, not when you're making organizational decisions. Folks, take away who's saying this. I know a lot of Buckeye fans like Urban Meyer, but a lot of the people that don't, anything he says, you're just going to perceive it as him whining. I'm surprised you don't. I think some have just been in the league so long that it's just the nature of the beast. Right. But he's right. And like I said, you are, as an organization, you are forking over millions and millions and millions of dollars to these individuals, and you don't meet them. Think about that from a business perspective. If I'm running a business, sure, there's Indeed and all these, things out there. You can get resumes and stuff. Imagine if you just had to look at resumes and say, I like this resume, hire them, haven't met them, haven't talked to them, but just boom, based on this resume. That's what NFL free agency is. And Urban is used to whining and dining recruits. He's used to, sending them bags of money. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't happen. Wink, wink, right? That doesn't happen at the Ohio State University. That just, it happens everywhere else, but not at our school, right? No, but he is used to having the chance to, I think he's the ultimate salesperson. I think that Urban can sell anyone on anything, Kev. I think if you sit across from him, and I'm not taking shots at Urban, I like Urban. I think if Urban can sit in front of these free agents, I think he'd have them sold on the direction of where he wants to go. But I still laugh when he talks about how, he wanted a chance to vet these players. Like, you vetted your strength and conditioning coach, like you make questionable decisions. So I'm not going to defend him there as far as that
wins
goes.
Games, though.
Well, maybe, I don't know if he will in Jacksonville, at least not off the bat. I mean, like I said, you look at the free agent additions that they made. They added Shaq Griffin. They added Rashawn Jenkins, defensive tackle, Robertson Harris. They got him, Marvin Jones Jr. They got Chris Manhertz, again, the tight end. They lost Keelan Cole and Mike Glennon, which that's nothing. I just don't think that the Jaguars improved. I mean, they didn't. Adding Trevor Lawrence, a lot of these main guys are gone. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with the Jaguars. I wouldn't expect much, although I did expect a lot. You had $70 million cap space. You had a rookie quarterback and Trevor Lawrence coming in. They should have got more than what they did. There's no excuse for them to come away as empty-handed as they honestly did throughout this process. Hour 2 in the books. Hour 3 coming up. Got a hockey story for you. Found this interesting. I don't talk a lot of hockey. I'm not going to pretend to know a lot of hockey. But the NHL's in the news for one of the biggest overreactions in the history of sports, Kev. The history of sports, the biggest overreaction. But the NHL's relevant, at least, for at least the next 5 minutes when we come back. Hour 3, next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
These days, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, you could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just call 800-998-0633 now to see if you qualify. You must have an automobile made from 1999 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call 800-998-0633 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. That's right, total protection for your car and no more repair bills. Plus, call 800-998-0633 right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Call 800-998-0633 right now to see if your car qualifies. That's 800-998-0633. Never pay for car repairs again. Just call 800-998-0633. 800-998-0633.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Gather together with friends and family. It's Skyline time.
There's something about a Skyline three-way that makes me crave it. The chili, cheese, and spaghetti blend together perfectly. Just talking about it is making me hungry. Guess I'm going to Skyline today.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring owner, operator, and fleet owners. Dedicated home daily round trip lanes. That's right, round trip, get paid for all miles, 100% no-touch freight. Cordell is offering great pay, a discounted fuel program, and free on-site truck parking, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus per truck. Take advantage of the dedicated round trip miles, sign-on bonus, and home every day or every other day. Go online to CordellTransportation.com to apply today. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What's in store right now at your local Staples?
Your one-stop shop for shipping solutions.
Staples has everything your business needs to ship, like packing materials, mailers, and UPS shipping services.
And now, get 20% off UPS Express shipping services at Staples. Plus, buy two, get one free on decorative shipping supplies.
Staples can even help you customize your shipping materials to create a memorable unboxing experience for customers.
Staples, your total shipping solution.
In-store only, ends 4/3/21. Exclusions apply while supplies last.
Switch to T-Mobile for Business and get up to 90 days of service free via virtual rebate on your business plan. You get a great deal, the largest 5G network, and first-class benefits like Microsoft 365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business. Limited time offer. Stop in-store for details. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
Hour 3 of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. We are coming at you live on 1410 Wing AM. We're streaming live at wingam.com. And, of course, you can watch us live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show. You can jump in on the conversation in the chat section or just give us a call at 457-9464. One more time, 457-9464. Put a 937 in front of that if you're calling from outside of the Dayton area. Don't talk a lot of hockey. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do think that this is one of the biggest overreactions in all of sports today. Referee Tim Peel will not work another game in the NHL, Kev, after getting caught saying he wanted to give the Nashville Predators a penalty in their win over the Detroit Red Wings on Tuesday night. The NHL Senior Executive Vice President of Hockey Operations, a super long title. Probably doesn't do a whole lot. Colin Campbell made the announcement Wednesday that because on the open mic, this referee was saying that he wanted to give the Predators a penalty, he will no longer be working NHL games now or in the future. He says that Peels, or he doesn't say this, but the article, Peels is 53 years old, Kev. He was due to retire after this season. He's been in the NHL on ice. He's been an on-ice official in the NHL since October of 99. He had refereed over 1,300 games entering this season. Campbell goes on to say nothing is more important than ensuring the integrity of our game. Tim Peel's conduct is in direct contradiction to the adherence to that cornerstone principle that we all demand from our officials. Give me a break. The official said he wanted to give a penalty to the Predators. Kev, he did nothing wrong here. You know what? You know how many times in game, like officials have a lot of power in games. I don't care what the sport is. If you are one of those coaches in any sport that likes to ride the officials, you know what you're going to get from those officials? You're probably going to get calls on your team that maybe they wouldn't have given them had you not pissed them off earlier in the game. Referees make the you there? Okay? Officials, all the time all the time in games. Call a game based on how they're feeling that day within the rules. So did he make up something here? Did he call something that wasn't actually there? No. He just said, I want to call a penalty on that. If he wants to do that, that's on him. If the coach is riding him, if the players are ticking him off, if they're very mouthy out on the ice, he has every right to do so. You don't have to like it, but it happens in sports all the way at the high school level. If there's a very cocky, arrogant player on the floor that rubs the official the wrong way, that keeps throwing his hands in the air every time the whistle blows, or, come on, ref, I didn't touch him. Promise you, that official is going to be very irritated with that individual and is probably going to be a little whistle happy with that individual the rest of the game. That happens. These are humans. So to take this 53-year-old guy that's been officiating games since 99, this is so stupid about the integrity of the game. He didn't throw a game. The team won. What did he do to impact the integrity of the game? This is the most overreacted storyline I've come across in quite some time. Hockey, this is why you're a stupid sport no one cares about right here. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. I can't buy into this at all.
They're trying to avoid the whole scandal that went along in the NBA with Tim Donaghy. That's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to nip it in the bud. They're trying to nip everything in the bud before, the gamblers out there, the people that love hockey up and down and watch hockey on a nightly basis and everything like that. They don't want their sport being drugged through the mud like the NBA was back in 2007. That's why they're nipping it in the bud. And I have no problem with that. Yes, referees are human. And I do believe that human error is a part of the game. But when you have a guy said, I want to give him a penalty early, there's things that you can do prior to that. Like say it's game 6 of the NBA Finals and it's tied up or whatever. No, game 7 of the NBA Finals is tied at 3s and this is for all the marbles and game 6 got chippy at the end. You bring the captains and the coaches like, look, y'all, I don't want no bleep out of y'all. I will call a quick whistle. I'm calling the quick whistle tonight. I don't want to hear nothing out of y'all. I don't want to hear no chirping, play some basketball. I'm going to let y'all play a little bit, but I don't want the side looks and the Draymonds flailing all over the place. Like you do those things up front. You don't go up and do it in the middle of a game. Like, yeah, I want to give him a penalty early because I really wish that the audio that I heard I could have heard the rest of his sentence because the audio that I heard, I'm not sure if there's more audio out there. All I heard was, yeah, I wanted to give them a penalty early because, and it just cuts off. I wanted to hear what he said after because that's very important to hear because they were chirping, because he's a bleep hole. I want to know what that because is before I jump over the ledge and be like, yo, man, there needs to be a full investigation and let's go up every game that he's ever refereed with a microscope. That because is very important.
No, I'm with you. And again, according to the article on ESPN, it's what you taught. He goes, it wasn't. So with 12:42 remaining in the second period, the Nashville broadcast captured audio from Peel saying that it wasn't much, but I wanted to get a effing penalty against Nashville early. So no, because after that, again, that could have been where they cut it off. There's probably more, as you alluded to. But again, I don't have a problem with this. I don't in any way see a problem with this. Like, officials talk all the time. If you you got to understand the context to this too, which they probably do. Maybe it warranted this, but I think this is a dramatic overreaction. I promise you, officials, I'm using basketball as an example. Man, he goes, man, that coach is getting on my nerves. He's riding me about every call. I'm about, I'm going to start calling that down low now just to get him off my back, or I'm going to keep calling it because he's ticking me off. Like, that's the natural human emotion. It changes from referee to referee. And to do that here in this situation, hey, it wasn't much, but I wanted to get an effing penalty against Nashville early. You don't have to like it, but I don't think that this impacts the integrity of the competition of the game and all that other mumbo jumbo slogan, put it on the back of the bumper sticker crap they talk about.
Now, I would say this, and our hockey listeners, please call us and let us know, because I don't watch hockey. I'm not sure how much hockey you watch.
But I'm reading about it now, and that's where it starts.
But if this was in the NBA, where people have a certain amount of fouls, you can't foul out in hockey. You only get 6 fouls in the NBA. So, like, if you giving a guy a foul early on in the game, like, that can hurt you later on in the game. So I'm not sure how penalties actually work in hockey. I'll be 100% honest. So I would like to know, how would that affect the game long term? So say you got a guy, say Shaquille O'Neal, he was a very below average pick and roll player. So say you get Shaq 2 quick early fouls in the first quarter, that's going to affect how Shaq plays in the second, third, and fourth quarters, because he's playing tentative, because he has those extra fouls. I would like to know if our hockey listeners could explain that to me a little bit better.
And so 457-9464. To me, this seems like no big deal. It sounds to me, I just wanted to get an effing penalty against Nashville. To permanently suspend this dude from ever officiating a game moving forward seems so dramatic, so over the top. So that's where, and as Kev said, hockey fans, 457-9464, what are we missing?
Does the why matter to you?
I think the why, but let's go left with it. Okay, let's say, man, I wanted to get an early call on the effing Predators because...
You like saying that.
Because I'm reading the quote from him, by the way, and I'm actually blurping it out. Because I don't like him. By the way, that's not a good reason, but it's not a banning you for life reason, right? Now, if the reason... I want to call this penalty on them early because I have a bet on this game that the over-under, that the first penalty in the second period will be called before this mark. That's warranted to be banned from ever officiating a game again. But to me, I think that's the only thing that he could have said that would have warranted banning him from ever officiating a game again. This is so ridiculous. This is so stupid. Do you agree? There could be things that you could suspend him for, things that you could penalize him for. But unless he said after, I got a bet on this game that
that's the only one that you will be cool with.
I can't think of anything worse unless he's, unless he said, I have a bet on this game. Let me go back. So with 12:42 remaining in the second period, that's when they captured Peel saying it wasn't much, but I wanted to get an effing penalty against Nashville early. So in the second period, if he would have said, I called that early because I have a bet riding on this game that by the 12:30 mark in the second period, a penalty, that the second or first penalty would be called that period. Boom, you're out. Now you're talking about trying to, you're doing something that's going to either get you money or other people money. I get it. But there's nothing else he could have said after that would have warranted suspending or firing him and banning him from officiating a game. 53 years old, has been officiating the NHL since 99. This is what you hear. Although you don't have to like it, it's not warranted to sit there and take his career and just basically throw it down the drain and all that. I have a huge problem with this. Hockey fans, what are we missing? How does this impact a hockey game to the extent of which it warrants firing him for good and banning him? Banning. We're talking about banning, Kev, not suspending. If it's a suspension, I'm moving on. I'm not even talking about this story. But they banned him. That's the problem I have. I don't think that this warrants being banned. Not a little bit. But I'm curious, hockey fans, your thoughts, 457-9464, or chime in the chat section on Facebook. Search The Justin Kinner Show and jump in there. So we'll step away for a few moments. We'll gather people's reactions to that and hopefully get an answer to that, because I'm really interested in people's hockey fans' opinions on that and just sports in general. There's nothing outside of a betting or gambling reason that warrants banning him from hockey forever. That's ridiculous to me. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We'll be back in just a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mainly clear and windy, a high near 73. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 48, and tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with showers, a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Frickers is ready with frickin' madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
The Paranzino brothers hold monthly online building material and home improvement auctions featuring quality home improvement products. Go to pbauctions.com for all the details and bid on name brand home improvement products, including flooring, kitchen, doors, decking, barn siding, trim, plumbing, lighting, tools, and so much more. All to be sold online. Visit pbauctions.com for preview times and bidding details on the next monthly auction near you. And we'll see you online at the Paranzino Brothers auction.
Hey, James, that order just doubled. We got to move fast here.
Indeed, knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Somebody pick up that phone.
Like at Luca's Gourmet Frozen Pizza Company. To operate at scale, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Spending more time at home, there has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't watch your favorite basketball team in person? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. It puts you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
Millions of Americans have been affected by identity theft. Get LifeLock today and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com with promo code RISK.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
On tomorrow's show, we are actually only on for the first hour tomorrow from 3 to 4. At 3:15, Bobby Nightingale is going to call into the show. We'll talk about Cincinnati Reds. He'll be calling from spring training. He covers the Bengals. He covers the Cincinnati Reds, for the Inquirer. So we're going to kind of catch up with him as we are 8 days away from opening day. Where's the buzz? Where's the excitement? Quiet, Reds fans. It's quiet. Now, I know that there's a lot going on. March Madness, NFL free agency. So, again, that's kind of pushed a lot of the urgency to talk baseball down a bit. We'll pick that up again tomorrow. Bobby Nightingale with the Inquirer covers the Reds. He'll come on, and we'll kind of get the latest as far as what to expect for the Reds heading in to opening day, just 8. And by the time we have him on tomorrow, 7 days from now. That's crazy. Next week already. We are right there.
What is the deal with fans?
I mean, the Bengals fans are weird. Oh, you meant for like the fans to get. Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, so what we've heard, I mean, tickets are on sale for all Reds games on an individual basis. I think that the opening day is handled differently, just like it is every other year. We're talking about 12,000 fans as far as capacity is concerned for the Reds games. I don't know. I'm in no hurry to get to a Reds game for right now, but I just kind of want to see kind of how it pans out. I think that you're going to slowly start to see those numbers increase as far as the amount of people who could attend games. So we'll keep an eye on that. I have an update about Ohio State in the spring game in the Big Ten coming up here in just a bit as well. Cleveland Browns fans, an update for you. When you look right now at the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns, you have Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson, Malik Jackson, Tack McKinley, who they just added, of course, from the Falcons. And, well, they may be adding another name to that. Right now, there's a certain particular pass rusher that is in Cleveland, meeting with the Cleveland Browns right now, and I'm really not sure how I feel about it, Kev. Jadeveon Clowney is in Cleveland right now, according to Field Yates with ESPN, and that they may be getting a deal done here in the near future. This was a name that last offseason there was talks of the Browns potentially getting him. The Browns have been actively trying to find another dominant pass rusher to put alongside to put opposite of Myles Garrett. But the thing is, if you're looking for a dominant pass rusher, I don't see how you're accomplishing that with Jadeveon Clowney, at least as of recent time. the last time he made a true impact on the team, he went to the Seahawks and he showed why he's still one of the best pass rushers in the league. And then the Titans won the bidding deal for him last year. And the Titans were not a good defensive team. And I'm not saying it was because of him, but he didn't contribute to any defensive.
He didn't play.
He didn't play. I mean, he was not good. He just wasn't good.
He got hurt again. My thing about Clowney is, first, let me say this. There's far more ways to affect the game from the defensive end position than just getting sacks. That's the number that we see. We see sacks and quarterback hurries and everything like that. It is to be said something about defensive end, holding the edge, holding the point of attack, holding the gaps for the linebackers to make plays, causing running backs to bounce the ball outside. Yes, I do know that. But in a Jadeveon Clowney situation where coming out of college, he was expected to be a wrecking ball, expected to be the next Reggie White, for goodness sakes. In my humble opinion, when he left Seattle, that was the best fit for him. Now, he went to chase the payday. The payday never came that he was expecting. He went to the Titans, got hurt, and now he's looking to go to the Cleveland Browns for another one-year deal and eventually try to get a big payday. He's constantly hurt. So, and you look at a guy like that doesn't give you those eye-popping stats that you want. That's what I'm expecting people to want from him, and to put him on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, causing havoc on the quarterback. He hasn't shown the ability to do that in 2+ years. So I'm not sure if he's the best fit for the Browns.
I think he's a great fit for the Browns until you put a dollar sign on him. And that's where, I mean, what's the ROI? What is the return on your investment into him? Because right now, you know, Sheldon Richardson and Malik Jackson, I mean, the Browns have got some pretty good deals on guys, but these aren't, you know, division altering signings that they've made by adding Malik Jackson and then, you know, Takk McKinley, a lot of expectations for him when he was drafted by the Falcons. He never really lived up to those. And so, I mean, there was rumors of the Browns potentially trading for him last year at the trade deadline, and they never pulled trigger on it. And I think a lot of those decisions not to make a trade for a big pass rusher last year at the deadline was kind of, you know, knowing this offseason what the market was going to be for those guys. And I think that's what you're seeing here. There was talks of the Browns trading for Malik Jackson last year, and they ended up, the two guys they were rumored to trade for last year, they ended up picking up in free agency for fairly cheap deals. A lot of pass rushers still left. We did see Ndamukong Suh go back to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers basically just wrapping everybody up. Ogunjobi, of course, already in Cincinnati at this point right now. But right now, as far as available, not a lot of ones. I mean, you look at Geno Atkins is still available. Is right now Browns fans Geno Atkins, Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is better than that option. Contacts are drying up for those. I'm like, my eyes are irritating the hell out of me.
I did want to talk about the Suh thing real quick before you got back to Jadeveon Clowney. Suh, how outstanding of a football player is he? He went from a 3-4 rush in that used to get after the quarterback and get quarterback sacks to completely transform his game to go to an inside player to be a run stuffing defensive tackle. That is outstanding on his behalf to say, you know what? The game is changing. My game is changing. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I'm not that quick twitch, super fast athlete that I used to be. Now I'm going to move inside. Kudos to him for being able to change up his game. Now back to Jadeveon Clowney. Is it just what they want him to do, is to be an edge setter, set the edge? Is that what they wanted him to do in Tennessee? Is that what they wanted him to do when he was with the Texans? I'm not sure, because when he was with the Texans, the most sacks he had one season was 9.5, and he had 9 when he was coming off the edge.
But he wanted money of a guy that was making 15+ sacks a season.
So that's my question for him. Like, I'm questioning, is this what the defense wanted you to do, is set the edge and not get after the quarterback? Because when you are, quote unquote, told to get after the quarterback in Seattle, you did cool. You were fine. You weren't terrible, but it wasn't to the effect that was going to garner the big payday that he was wanting in the offseason last year. Then he got decent money from Tennessee, got hurt, and now he's in Cleveland trying to work out a deal.
Like I said, if it comes across the screen and I come on the air tomorrow and we're discussing this, if the Browns have signed him, it's just one of those where I like it. I hope that they don't spend a lot I hope it's in the 8-9 mil range. And even then, I'm like, But when you look at the pass rushers that are left, like I said, if it's looking at Geno Atkins or him, I'm like, okay, I feel better about Clowney. Geno Atkins, when healthy, is not terrible, but look, the Bengals moved on from him. There's Kawan Short, there's Daquan Jones, there's Corey Peters is available as well. But a lot of these guys are old. I mean, Danny Shelton's available as well. He was with Detroit. He's available, but there's just not a lot of huge. I mean, the biggest name that is left, I guess, is the name that they're going after right now in Jadeveon Clowney. We're just going to find out how much they value him. How much money they give him.
I'm production over names. Like, everybody knows the name Jadeveon Clowney. Everybody knows that back at South Carolina, he ripped somebody's head off that played for that team up north and everything like that. But let's be real, man. His NFL career hasn't been what his college career we all were expecting his NFL career to be. If I was the Browns, I would. I mean, if you can get him for a good deal, obviously that you would want a veteran defensive lineman to add to your rotation. But expecting him to come in and be a dominant force like a Myles Garrett, like a Batman and Robin situation, like, oh man, Myles Garrett's going to get 15 sacks and I'm going to get 12. I wouldn't be expecting that if I'm a Browns fan, and I wouldn't be willing to pay that type of money.
I don't think that they're going to be whatever pass rusher they're bringing in isn't done to, like, I don't think they're signing Jadeveon Clowney to get 12 sacks from him. They need his pass rush to be able to open up the doors so that Myles Garrett could be as dominant as Donald with the Rams. And I think that's the one piece that they've been missing with Myles Garrett since, him really kind of emerging onto the scene, is they don't have anyone to complement him on the outside, on the opposite side. That's what his job is going to be. Now, he can't just be average. He has to be above average. And I think that's what his peak is above. When he's at his best, he's well above average. That's what the Browns need from him. But they need well above average, but not paying him as a top defensive threat. I mean, you already put all your money into Myles Garrett, but he's earned it. He has earned that. I don't think Clowney has earned it. He's been playing the market the last couple of years, demanding top pass rusher money, and I just don't think that he's that. And I know what you mean about production. You look at some of the production from the others, but at the same time, if those all the best defensive pass rushers have been swooped up already. The Bengals got one of the best ones out there. The Jets did too. When you look at what they were able to do. So I like Hendrickson with the Cincinnati Bengals. But again, they just replaced one good pass rusher with another. But it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not saying that I can wake up tomorrow, the Browns have them. Great. I don't think that's, now they're winning a Super Bowl. I think that the Browns right now, there's a lot of big defensive backs still available, including, who the Steelers just released. Nelson. That's another one that the Browns are already looking at as well. But you had Ndamukong Suh and him. Now that's a completely revamped defense as far as the Browns are concerned, and they're in good shape. On Facebook, Justin Nichols says it looks like they're focusing on all offense this draft. He's talking about the Bengals, of course. Yeah, that's what it looks like. My problem is when you're expecting all rookies to come in and turn your fortune around, I wouldn't expect a lot of great things from that, especially if your biggest hole on offense is offensive line. If you're thinking that 2 to 3 offensive linemen are going to be drafted and all of a sudden the Bengals are a good pass blocking team, I wouldn't put my money in that. I don't believe that at all. But no, that is what they're doing. They're going to go after all offensive pieces in the draft, and they've locked into some of their key defensive pieces long term, and that's the direction that the Cincinnati Bengals are going in at this point. Okay, other news here as we close this part of the show out. The Big Ten has announced that it is going to leave it up to the individual schools based on the CDC guidelines for those particular states, how they want to go about with fan attendance. So there will be attendance at spring games. At the spring game, Ohio State will announce that more, but it kicks into effect now. So if there's volleyball, if there's any sports going on right now, which the Big Ten didn't, they got their volleyball season in the fall, some are doing in the spring, but volleyball, baseball, anything like that, fans are already welcome back. Obviously limited capacity, and the schools will set that, but that is good news for those of you who do want to attend the spring game, as that's coming up here in just a few weeks.
Man, every time you mention spring game, I just remember last year we were supposed to go broadcast on the spring game, man.
Yeah.
I was going, I've never been to the spring game. I've had tickets to go to the spring game and things have come up. My brother's been to the spring game, but I've never been to the spring game. Won't be going this year, but hopefully next year I'll be at the spring game.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. The spring game, with that being said, when you look at the fans and everything, like being able to be allowed in attendance, that's great. I think we're going in the right direction. I think you're going to see a good a good portion of the shoe filled up come fall. I mean, you have teams like Alabama who basically come out and already announced it's going to be a full stadium. I mean, the SEC schools have already announced it's going to be full stadiums. And right now, with the way we're trending, it wouldn't surprise me if the shoe is pretty much max capacity by this time or by that time come fall. So we'll see. All right, let's close it out with this. We have about 5 minutes remaining here before we go to our interview that we have coming up here at 5:45 with WWE champion Bobby Lashley. He'll be coming on here in just a few moments. We were able to get through the mock draft for Mel Kiper. Go ahead and hit the music. We're going to do a quick fast forward. We're going to now
all the way up to pick 5.
The Bengals fans won't know. Yeah, so in the first hour, the first segment of the show was supposed to be about the NFL mock draft from Mel Kiper. Then we're going to move on to something else. Well, the first hour was nothing but Mel Kiper's mock draft, and it was only picks 1 through 5 because Bengals fans lost their minds when we got to the discussion and the debate about what they should do at number 5 because Mel Kiper has the Cincinnati Bengals taking Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida, as opposed to Penei Sewell, when we all know that the Bengals need an offensive line. Jacksonville Jaguars taking Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. No shocker there. The Jets, Mel Kiper has them taking Zach Wilson, quarterback out of BYU. One shocker here, Justin Fields going number 3, not to the Dolphins. The Dolphins trade back in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft to the Carolina Panthers. Panthers selecting Justin Fields at number 3. At number 4, the Atlanta Falcons, according to Mel Kiper, will be selecting Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. A lot of mock drafts out there have, if Justin Fields available at number 4, the Falcons are most likely going to take the Georgia native, which would be quite interesting there. The hometown, or I should say the home state kid, will definitely be interested there. At number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. That's what led to our discussion earlier. I'm not even going to go into detail on it because then we'll get caught up. The Eagles at number 6, Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU. I like that addition right there. A big-time dynamic wide receiver, one of the biggest names in this draft coming up. Devontae Smith, Heisman winner, wide receiver Alabama, going number 7 to the Detroit Lions. That'll be a big-time playmaker right there, right off the bat for Jared Goff. The Dolphins traded back to number 8, taking Jalen Waddle. Going to pair Jalen Waddle up with the former Alabama teammate Tua Tagovailoa. Interesting selection right there. The Vikings trading up with the Broncos to select Penei Sewell, offensive tackle out of Oregon. How about that? The Minnesota Vikings value their bad quarterback more than the Bengals value their good quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys, still, this has not changed. Patrick Surtain, cornerback out of Alabama. Nothing's changed there. Kwity Paye, defensive end out of Michigan, going to the Giants at number 11. The 49ers taking Caleb Farley, quarterback out of Virginia Tech. Cornerback, not quarterback. Los Angeles Chargers, Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman out of Northwestern. Denver Broncos taking Micah Parsons. This is who I want the Browns to trade up to get. If Micah Parsons drops this far back, the Browns need to trade up to select him. The Patriots, all of a sudden, Mac Jones shot up the board last week or last month. Now all the way back to number 15, according to Mel Kiper. We all know how much Bill Belichick loves Nick Saban, trust the Alabama program. They are coached the same. They're the same coach, basically. Both the best coaches in their respective leagues, college and NFL. Mac Jones going number 15 to the New England Patriots. We're out of time, so I'm going to fast forward all the way down to the Cleveland Browns selection at number 28, declared number 26. This has not changed from the very beginning. The Cleveland Browns will be selecting outside linebacker, defensive end Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. So there you go.
I like it.
Let's see.
Got the Steelers,
let's go to your Steelers. The Ravens are taking Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Big time playmaker there. And then the Packers taking Greg Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern. The Bills taking Najee Harris. And then I passed up on your Steelers. Hold up. I gotta go back. Yeah, there they are. Number 24. Trevin Jenkins, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State. See, even the Steelers value their old washed up quarterback more than the Bengals value their quarterback. And the Bengals are embarrassing. All right, folks, that does it for this part of the show. We have our conversation, our interview with WWE champion Bobby Lashley. That's next on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN.